So now we're put live. You should be able to go for it.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode number 14 or 13 of the Link Cable Podcast. Off to the best start possible. So hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Alex. I'll be your host for the show this evening. I'm joined today by Kevin, Zahi, and Mike. Hey guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
Sunday.
It's going good. Happy Sunday. And if you're listening to this on a day other than Sunday, then happy whatever day it is. Yeah. Merry Christmas. So welcome to episode number 13 of the Link Cable Podcast, where we're going to talk about all things gaming. So we got a fairly interesting week to go over, because usually we like to go over all the news that happened the week, but only a few hours ago there was like the biggest thing of the week, which was the Ubisoft Forward presentation.
It's been a quiet week. It's been a really quiet week.
Yeah. But it is kind of weird that the biggest thing happened not too long ago, so it'll kind of be like almost our live reactions, or like our slightly separated reactions from it. We haven't really had time to digest the news or like sleep on it for a few days, which is a bit unusual. So we'll talk about that, and if there's time, we can touch on the other gaming shows that happened this week, because there was quite a few, but none really big ones. There was a World of Warcraft Shadowlands presentation, which which happened. There was Limited Run Games had their press conference, which is always pretty fun, especially for me, because if you look behind, I like the physical games. So that was fun for me. There was Devolver Digital's wacky thing yesterday, and Nintendo had a Treehouse Live that I'd rather not talk about because it was awful. But anyway,
I think that was the theme of the week, was mediocrity, because there was nothing that was.
Mm-hmm. We needed great, and we got garbage.
Yeah.
This is like a not E3 week that is definitely not as exciting as an E3 week. So we got exactly what we thought we were going to get.
I wish. What do I do to have an E3 week?
Yeah. I mean, not next week, but the week after, at least we got the big Series X blowout coming up, which I think
is
you know what? I'm putting all of my faith in that. That's all we've got left. And I'm hearing my boy Phil Spencer is going to drop the mic. We're getting... Yep. There's Fable rumors going crazy right now. Please just give me one game that I can be so excited for. Just give me one good game, because there's been... What's that?
I don't even care if I see a Fable. I just want to hear news about Halo.
Well, that's a guarantee. So you don't have to worry about that. They're going to do that.
I don't even... Gears 6, Fable, nothing's as important to me right now in the current landscape. I just want to know. Just give me some Halo 6 info. God, please.
You'll get it. You'll get that, which is good.
Because that's like the one thing.
So before we dive into the Ubisoft thing, let's go around the table, the virtual table, whatever you call it, to talk about what we've played this week. I'll get the ball I'll do that. I'll get the ball going because I haven't really had a chance to play many games this week. I don't know if I do apologize to anyone who was looking forward to my weekly Kingdoms of Amalur stream. I didn't get a chance to get to it. I'm sorry. I'll get back to that. But I did get a chance to play Neon Abyss, which hasn't come out. So Neon Abyss is a roguelite shooter. Where you got to go through a dungeon, you shoot stuff. It's a bit Borderlands-y, where it's all about the guns. The guns are the craziest things. Like really early on, you get a cat gun that has it shoots homing meow faces at enemies.
Oh, I didn't know it was something silly of a game. It looked decently serious in the preview.
It's really weird. It walks the line between being super serious all the time and then super silly. It really doesn't stick to one thing. It definitely leans more silly than serious, but it's not entirely in either camp. So it's pretty fun. It's a bit I mean, I don't want to give too much away because I do have a review working on it, but it is a bit I'm looking for a bit of variety out of it, let's put it that way. But it's pretty fun. So I've been playing a lot of that, getting ready for the review. It's the kind of game I feel a little bad reviewing because I suck at it. I'm bad. I'm bad at gaming.
I'm bad at gaming.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. It took 13 episodes for me to admit it. I'm bad at games.
Fair.
But yeah, it's a fairly difficult game right off the bat. It kind of it really doesn't shy away from trying to kill you, because that's a big part of the game. Is you're constantly re-exploring the same dungeon. You can pick up the gear you've dropped the first time. So it's the kind of game that isn't afraid to push you to your limits. But it's been fun. I am enjoying it. I'm playing it on Switch, and it's a kind of a nice. I think it really works nicely for that system, because it's kind of I take it to bed with me. I go I'm like, all right, I'm going to play a few 20, 30 minutes of this before dozing off. Yeah, it's not a huge time investment like you're sitting down for a big RPG or something. It's a nice little bite-sized game.
On the Switch? Does it handle it well, or does it slow down a bit?
No,
Really?
Perfectly fine.
Because
there's no I played we have a preview up on the website, because I did play it on PC back when it was just the demo that was out, and I can't tell the difference between the Switch and PC.
I'm trying to put it on our video so you can see it.
Neon Abyss.
Neon
Abyss. Neon game, and it's not getting what I'm looking for.
There's
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Neon
curious about how
games
it played
right
on
now.
the Switch, because
try as it didn't.
I played Children of Morta, and it did not run well on the Switch. It was
Children
of
of
Morta.
what?
It ran pretty bad on there.
Sounds like a pedophile game.
It kind of does, now that I think about it, but yeah, it did not run well on the Switch, though. It was very choppy. It crashed a few times, and sometimes the sound would just drop completely. So it's good to hear this game runs good in the Switch, because this would be a great Switch. Is it out on the Switch yet, or is it still?
It's all coming out, I think, next week. So the game's not out yet. So it's coming out on pretty much everything next week. And we got a Valorant trailer playing. But
which review for Valorant will also be coming out this week, as I've
do we?
Did you already switch this?
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
See them already?
No, you haven't
Oh,
switched
okay.
it. You're in preview. So.
Uh,
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sharing
so we
my
got
screen,
the
that's why. I'm
gameplay
like,
up
how are you guys
here.
seeing this?
Yeah.
That's why. I'm like, I didn't click Switch yet. I don't know.
I'm
The people don't know this.
I'm in your door. I'm right behind
The
you.
people
Kevin.
don't know yet.
You've got an inside look
I'm gonna
behind the
stop it,
scenes,
That's
folks.
probably what's on the
Um,
computer. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. No, you guys probably can't see it now, because I should have left it for you to watch the video. But the game's beautiful. I'm not usually a big fan of those pixelated games a lot of times, but this one, for some reason, it's very colorful, and it actually looks like almost like a cartoon in a way.
Like Castle
it's that kind.
Crashers.
It's not.
Remember that
It's,
game?
Yeah.
I mean, it is similar-ish, but it's more pixelated than that, I guess. I don't know. It looks nice. I don't know how to say it any other way.
Pixelated, more like retro kind of
It's
style,
not super retro.
like Octopath.
No,
for example.
No.
I can't even describe looking at it what is this like? It's kind of a game on its own. It's very. Someone else take over. I can't do this. This is not going well. I'm just watching it going, I don't know, it's pretty.
It reminds me a little bit of there's another game, The Escapists.
Yeah, okay, it's kind of like that.
I
I don't know what
nice.
that game is,
Yeah,
but I've seen the
or,
artwork for it. It does look like that.
It's got that 8-bit but kind of more detailed look to it, and the world is very sorry if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking over at the other screen so I can
I know.
watch
I'm watching it too.
yeah. There's the cat gun.
They have a balloon.
So it's
Terry.
Terry the cat gun. Yeah, it's the neon bits of it, because it has a really cool art style, I find, where it has this super saturated, super or not saturated, but super neon, in your face, really bright look to it, and those kind of hint you towards the game's secrets or hidden collectibles and things like that. So you're not just looking at what's in your face and the monsters, but you're also looking at the world around you, which kind of gives the dungeon for being because it's a roguelite, so everything changes pretty much every room you go into.
No, I'm.
Yeah,
I was so excited. I'm
Sorry.
like, I might get this, and then all of a sudden it's a roguelite. Why is everything a roguelite?
Why? What's wrong with roguelite?
No, it just doesn't seem like it's like. Never mind. I don't want to get going on roguelites.
It's the kind of
roguelites.
They're kind of fun. That's the thing. It's like, oh, this is fun for a little bit, but it's like you have to sink a bunch of time in it and play it over and over and over. That's what I don't like about them. Which some people like that part about them.
The replayability.
It's the kind of game that like it really does demand that you keep trying. Like it like once it kills you, it like you don't. My feeling isn't like shoot, I like
the defeatist feeling.
You yelled at us for those F-bombs.
You don't pull a Kevin.
Yeah, you don't get that defeatist feeling. You're kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go back into it and like try to do better. Like it is a very like motivating little game. I really like it.
It looks like Cyberpunk for the iOS.
It does.
Cyberpunk iOS, sure. But yeah, no. So I've been playing a ton of this. It's really fun. The full review will go up. I believe review embargo date is the 14th, so I'll have it up by then. So yeah, look forward to that. But other than that, did my dailies in Animal Crossing. Just bought half a million in turnips today. So last week's haul, I got to update. So last week, I did not do very well. I only made like.
No, you didn't.
I only made like 16 bells on the turnip. Like it wasn't really good. So it was a pretty crappy week for the stock market. So I'm hoping this week. And so I had a villager want to move out today.
Talk to him?
And I was just I don't know why. Like I talk to my villagers all the time. Like I don't know. He was just like Tom the cat. Tom cat. I get it. He was just like, buddy, I think I'm gonna be moving away. I'm not really feeling living here. And he was the first one. I've never had anyone want to move away, and I was.
You had to run a little community relations on the side.
Yeah.
Man, you need some good PR. You have like citizens leaving your town.
I heard if you don't talk to them every day, they will start to leave because you feel like you're ignoring them.
Well, it's.
You could work on some recruitment strategies. Try to bring up your population numbers.
Yeah, maybe some incentives. Really get like, maybe a pizza party once every week just to keep the troops going.
You seem really upset that this guy left. Like, maybe we should start maybe at the beginning of every 15 minutes. Yeah, we'll do a therapy session for Animal Crossing.
I feel bad for Alex. I feel like he got walked out on.
How does it make you feel that Tom the Tomcat is no longer going to be participating in your island?
It could have been anyone,
but it wasn't. It was Tom.
But it wasn't. It was Tom.
So,
what is your personal experiences in the past with Tom the Tomcat? Please elaborate. Feel free to take as much time as you need.
Oh, God.
Tom the Tomcat is a pretty
for you.
Villager. I will start off with that. He is not the nicest villager.
How does that make you feel?
He is, as the villager relations coordinator for my island for New Altopia. On the 3DS, it was Altopia. Now it's New Altopia. I feel like I've tried everything I could. I got them gifts. I visit their house. They're feeling sick. Who runs out to get the medicine?
Do you feel like they didn't do enough for you?
Do you think that?
I feel like you're putting in all the effort here, Alex. I think you're giving it 100%, and I don't think Tomcat is really putting that effort in. I think it's a good thing that he's moving out, or the cat is moving out. I'm supportive of you, man. Don't worry. Yeah, I think it's.
I think it's time for both of you to just move on. It's just sometimes it's better just to say goodbye. So.
Unfortunately, Alex, I have to tell you that Tom actually just moved into my village.
This conversation is starting to feel a little too topical. Not liking
dagger.
Not liking these points. Oh God.
Well,
other than Tomcat leaving you, Alex, and I feel bad for that. I really do, actually.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I really feel the sympathy pouring through my set.
So sorry.
This is I think they could leave like that.
Filling me with warm thoughts of comfort and friendship. I appreciate it. Yes.
Always. So, other than Tomcat leaving you, anything else exciting? No Kingdoms of Amalur, I see.
No, not this week. That was a time constraint. I just couldn't get to be able to play, but I'll be back in Amalur.
Still having How has it been so far?
Oh, having tons of fun. I the remaster was like officially revealed earlier this week. Like they showed the trailer and everything, which was really.
How does it look?
I mean, it was a cinematic trailer, so it looks as good as a cinematic trailer can. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Oh my god, I've never seen graphics this good. But they did announce a brand new expansion, which is actually going to continue the story. And it's going to be
great.
Yeah, it's going to be post-game content. It's coming out in 2021. So the Re-Reckoning is coming out in September.
It's not that far away.
And then
it's very exciting.
No, it's really, it's coming up soon. And
I'm actually going to get Kingdoms of Amalur.
Good. I'm glad. It's a real game.
I missed out on it when it originally launched, and seeing your Let's Plays and with all the positive comments so far, I'm actually really going to pick it up, I think, in September. I missed out on it back when it came out. I think I was a pro college student.
It's weird because a lot of people I know missed out on this game, and it is not a game I feel like... I mean, it's a good game, so I'm surprised as many people missed out on it.
I think it's because it got niched into a time when you had big open worlds at the time, like Skyrim, or the Far Cry's at the time were just blowing up.
2012. So it was a late 360 PS3 game. Like the Wii U was already out, I'm pretty sure, or was coming out. And there was like tons of hype for the PS4 and the Xbox One. It was like.
I just don't think it got like the spotlight it deserved.
No, and EA published the first version of it, and they put no effort into marketing it. Like they put absolutely nothing into it. So it didn't get the love it deserved. Now THQ Nordic is publishing it this time, and they are. I mean, like they've been really great for like really pushing their games. Like I'm still.
THQ Nordic has been really good lately.
Yeah, I'm still seeing tons of ads for SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Like it's
so
many pushing that game.
So many.
Switch, it's like
you know what? I'm glad they're
first
pushing
up
it
on Switch on the eShop too when you go in there.
Yeah. I'm glad they're pushing SpongeBob. Just mainly because like I don't think there's any. At least right now, I think there's such a push for like high quality graphics, big open multiplayer, and I think they forget like, a large audience of gamers are younger adults or even kids, and I think that's a good market to hit.
And it's so like you never see remakes or remasters of licensed games. Like this never unless it's like Star Wars. It's the only one. And I can't think of a Star Wars remaster right now. But
Rogue Squadron,
Battlefront, almost.
You know what? Tom leaving broke my heart, but don't get me on Rogue Squadron.
We were just getting over Tom. Why are we going back to him?
Yeah. But like a game like SpongeBob, you never see those games get remastered or anything like that. So it is like really cool that they brought it back. But yeah, anyway, I'll wrap up my little segment here. This is what I've been playing: a lot of Neon Abyss, a bit of Animal Crossing. Yeah, that's been my week.
All right.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go up. I got back this week from vacation, so it's been a very quiet week back. I've been like trying to just get my things organized. So the only real couple of games I was actually playing, actually it's not even fair. I've played quite a bit. I played a little bit of Valorant, but I still need to play a bit more. There should be a review for Valorant this week, hopefully coming up. So please make sure to check linktable.com.
Linktable.com. Plug.
So yeah, come check out a review for Valorant. I've been enjoying it so far. I don't want to talk too much about it. I think maybe I'll save it till after the review for next week's podcast.
Is this your first experience playing it though, or did you play any in the beta and stuff?
No, this is my first experience playing it. Actually, if it wasn't for Jacob, I wouldn't have even played it. Right before I had gone for vacation, which is why I wasn't able to play it so much. Jacob had messaged me because I had just gotten my new PC, asking if I had downloaded Valorant yet. And I was like, no, I don't think my PC can handle it because I got like not a hand-me-down PC, but like a PC circa about 2016. So I didn't think that Valorant at the time. He's like, I remember the exact words he said. He's like, Zahi, a potato can run that game. I was like,
they made it very accessible, so that's true.
Yeah, that is actually a big highlight of going to be in my review, the accessibility of it and the fact that it basically can run on a potato. It can run on your Xbox One fridge or a Series X fridge. So that should be, and I've never really gotten into, in the Middle East, like Arabic backgrounds, Counter-Strike is huge. Is a huge game back home in the Middle East. And I think Valorant is the kind of pickup that people who like Counter-Strike, for example, or like similar games to Counter-Strike, may want to try to expand and grow on. So I think that's a really good market that they've tapped into. Other than that, I've played a bunch of The Last of Us 2, which a review for that is also coming out this week.
On which website?
On linkcable.com for all of our 50 plus subscribers. Keep coming back. It was a good. I gave it a positive rating for a game. I don't, not to dissuade or discourage anyone from playing it. The themes of The Last of Us 2 compared to The Last of Us 1 are extremely different. The Last of Us 2 is very focused on revenge, and in that revenge also forgiveness, whereas The Last of Us 1 is focused. So how I see the two games is that it is very part 1 and part 2. They're like huge companion pieces. Part 1, I feel, or The Last of Us 1, I feel, is more about like saving humanity, quote unquote, from like the other, or like the not human, where I feel as The Last of Us 2 is more of an internal game where it's like saving humanity from itself. So I think the dichotomy of the games really play well together, at least what they're presenting. So that's been really good. I've loved The Last of Us 2 so far. I don't think it's as strong as The Last of Us 1. Not saying it's bad. I just think The Last of Us 1 is arguably a better game. But I think The Last of Us 2's production quality and the effort in it makes it as good of a title. I just think the overall story and narrative was a bit more cohesive, because there's a couple of time jumps in The Last of Us 2. Sometimes things get muddled. There's a lot of characters, whereas The Last of Us 1 focused very specifically on Joel and Ellie. This one has a real big supporting cast. So it kind of takes you out of their perspective for a bit. Not saying it's good or bad, I'm just saying the differences. But I think it's still overall a very solid game, and really good for, I think, Naughty Dog to go out on the last game of generation, second last.
Yeah. And it'll be remastered within the PS5's first year.
Within the first year, absolutely, immediate. It has to be. It's so good. It's so realistic. I'll tell you something, man. The way Ellie moves and the way she interacts with the environment, it's terrifying. There are moments in that game that literally had me I'm just.
Is it less zombie based overall, and more fighting against other people where you're competing for taking over land? Or is it still zombie based?
Yes and no. So The Last of Us 1, I felt was a lot. I think there was a big skew in zombies over or the infected over humans, because when you get to the human areas, they're tough, because the human NPCs are not mindless and they don't just run at you. They're actually they were fairly intelligent. In The Last of Us 2, I found that it's a very good even split down the middle, but I feel that fighting the infected is way worse, than fighting the WLF or the Washington Liberation Front. They're just so aggressive. Honestly, there are times where I'm like, bro, this game needs to chill out, because it's sending hordes at you. Hordes. And Ellie has an arrow and maybe two shots, 2 pistol bullets and one buckshot. And that's it. And a broken shiv. Just running around there.
I think one thing that with The Last of Us that's always I don't think people ever really gave it the credit that it needed, is that it's a horror game.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's always been pushed as this cinematic action adventure, which it all is, absolutely. But you never really see people talking about it, comparing it to other horror games. You don't see Last of Us and Resident Evil, Last of Us and Silent Hill, things like that. It's always compared against Uncharted, because that's the Naughty Dog world, right?
In terms of horror, there is a constant sense of palpable fear and dread, because Ellie's going on essentially on a revenge quest, and where it takes her are some scary place. The building, I'll be honest, there are places in the game I'm I don't want to go into that.
If I can't get 100% on this game, that's fine.
I'm we're gonna pass.
Yeah, I don't want to go into that building. You know what? That is not the direction I want to head into right now, because that just looks terrifying. It's and like you go into the crouch mode where you see the white little things, and they're like, not today. I only have like now one arrow and a bullet, you know, and still a broken ship. I'm like, I can't do it. And the buildings are so dilapidated and the infrastructure is so broken down that it feels like there were legitimately some places where I'm like, it is not safe to walk here. Like
the building becomes almost like a challenge in its own way, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of new traversal elements. So Ellie is having to, say, climb ropes, and some of the areas you go, the actual infrastructure is so unstable that it's really not safe to walk on it because like it'll collapse with you in it. So which is really good because that makes it so that the world is its own character almost. So it's something I appreciated. And other than that, Elder Scrolls Online has been my friends who I play Destiny and Apex with wanted to start something fresh, so we put on ESO, and we got it on sale for Steam for $9.99 because Greymoor just came out, the new expansion. So we wanted to check it out before we were to buy the expansion. And that game is big.
It's huge. It's like it's tough jumping right into it too from the beginning because there's so much content.
There's so much.
What class are you playing as?
I'm playing as a human tank, but I'm a paladin. And I have an archetype with my tank characters always. I like to roleplay my characters as like a white-haired, crimson-eyed, like teen girl who doesn't know anything about magic or sorcery or like being sneaky, but she's just skinny and holding a giant like two-handed sword. I'm like, this is my kind of I always roleplay her like some lost princess who just knows how to hit things hard. But like it's a constant trait in all my games. Anytime I play like an RPG, it's always like this white-haired, crimson-eyed, like Bonnie lass beating the shit out of things with a giant sword. So yeah, my friends were laughing. They're like, that's the weirdest character we're seeing right now fighting like a big demon. I'm like, ah! So the visual of it is always funny. But yeah, games of the week.
Nice. That's a good week. Yeah. Kevin, what about you?
I played a decent amount of things. So I'll start with the game I played the most, which is the same game I play every week that I'm not going to go into, but Tales of Vesperia. I'm still working my way through that game. Still enjoy it. I'm just kind of waiting to get to the end a little bit because it is kind of long. So I will give my full thoughts on it when I'm done, hopefully by next week. So I played that quite a bit.
Or next year.
That's right. I keep looking up on like IGN site for walkthrough to see where I'm at. I keep seeing, I'm like, all right, I have like 5 more bullets to the next act and then 8 more bullets to the end. Like I can do this. And it's like I like the game, but for some reason it just like I don't know. I like to play different things very often. Yeah. Like, I'll play something for like 2 hours. And like this is so good, I love it, and then I'll just stop playing it for no reason other than I want to play something else. Like this is shinier over there. I have to go play that one now. I started to play the Iron Man VR game. I purchased it.
Oh yeah, I'm interested about that.
I was very excited to play it, and I haven't used my PSVR in a long time since I've moved it and gotten things around. And the cable I need to connect to the PS4 is not with my PSVR. So that's still TBD. I will get to that. And I'm a little sad because I was really looking forward to playing that. And it looks like a lot of fun. So that will also be in the future thing I will talk about. One of the bigger games I played this week, I jumped into playing Far Cry 4 with one of my friends. I bought it. It was sitting, shrink wrapped from like nice from like I think 2014 or 16, whatever that game came out. I bought it like a week or so after release. Never opened it, and I continued to buy Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn and never play any of them. So I figured I'd sit down and try. Well, I was also in the middle of Far Cry 3, which I think I've just given up with now, and I'm not ever going to finish that game because it just. I'll never get through these things if I sit and look for every pelt in the game. So Far Cry 4 though,
it's crazy. It's
what's that?
too many pelts.
The game is so overwhelming.
Too many fetches.
I did find out that Far Cry 4's co-op is not as full-fledged as some of the other Far Cry games. It's very side quest based, and
that's all it is, which kind of was a bummer. It's fun.
It's okay, but I hear Far Cry 5 has full like co-op support. I believe. Does anyone know?
You can play the main story on it.
I haven't played one since Far Cry 3, and not really into that series.
I've played one Far Cry game.
New Dawn.
Yeah, and
that was the one you played.
So, yeah,
I remember because you reviewed it.
Yeah, I did review it.
Please check out our review for New Dawn on Linkcable.com.
Yeah, it's not good.
Interesting. So I'm really enjoying the fourth one. I'm playing on the PS4 Pro, and it looks pretty good. I'm surprised it doesn't look like garbage for being a pretty old game, but it's still pretty impressive, honestly.
It's funny. I got a stack of old 360 games like over there, and one of them is Far Cry 4, and I was like, that came out on 360.
Yeah, man.
I got it
at the end of it because I was playing Far Cry 3, which I've had in 360, and the difference between Far Cry 3 and 4 on the next gen, which is now current gen, was pretty remarkable.
Last year.
Was it? Honestly,
if you look at videos of Far Cry 3 and the 360, and then Far Cry 4 on like Xbox One X or just Xbox One, I guess, it's pretty impressive. So I'm a couple hours into it. I'm liking it. What were we saying, Zahi?
I have a signed copy of Far Cry 3 from what's his name? Voss?
Oh, the guy that plays him?
The main antagonist?
Cool. How'd you get that?
Yeah, from the guy that
really
plays him.
Cool.
Yeah, at the Toronto Fan Expo. Really nice guy. Signed it for me for free, actually.
I think he finally came out and signed
it. He was like, "Please leave."
That's what
on the box. Yeah.
And
so yeah, that's
say about Far Cry. I can't remember. Oh, the co-op. I was gonna say is the fact. First off, like I said, it's only the side missions and stuff that you can do is limited. But to get to the co-op, you also have to play through the first act, which is about an hour-ish of gameplay, which also kind of sucks. So hopefully, after my buddy and I play through 4, we're gonna jump into 5 next, and hopefully that has a little more. I haven't looked at it at all, so maybe it's the same thing. But I'm hoping maybe they learned a little bit. And you can play more co-op wise, because that would be fun. And then I'm still playing Uncharted 4 a little bit. I got through another act in the game, or another like 2 chapters, I think is what it's considered. So still really liking that game. It's just it's a slow-paced game, and I'm kind of an idiot gamer, and I'll get to a spot where I don't know where to go next, and I just walk around in a circle, and it's like there's nothing. I can't go backwards because I blocked it off, and I don't know where forward is, so I just wander around for 10, 15 minutes, and I get bored, and I just like, well, I'm going to go upstairs and eat, because that's what I do when I'm bored. And the last game I played that I've been kind of having a resurgence in my life is Heroes of the Storm. My brother and his friend Mike, Mike, have started playing it again and kind of drew me back in.
When did you get here?
And I used to play it a ton, and for whatever reason, just because something shiny came out and I got away from it, but I miss playing this game, so I played that quite. I actually played a couple of ranked games today, so I've been pretty excited to. We lost all of them, but it was fun.
It's a great time. It were great moral victories.
I was also doing this during the Ubisoft stream. Will be a segue for our next segment after we're done with this. But during the pre-show before it, they were putting out keys for their games, Ubisoft games, just in their stream for the pre-talk, and they just said Division 2, and then they'd have a key, and you have to try to type it in Uplay as fast as you could. I try, and
was it the first person gets it?
Exactly.
Is that what they did?
It was dumb. Wow. Because my dumb ass is playing HOTS trying to frickin' win a match, and instead I'm trying to type shit into my keyboard that I can't do in time, and it just kept saying,
type in the game keys into the game chat.
Well, no, I kept.
And then someone on the other team gets it.
And then they beat you.
I had most of the game, but they had Assassin's Creed Odyssey they were giving out for free, which I already had. So I was like, okay, I don't need that. And then they were giving out Division 2, Trials, something, whatever the new Trials game is.
Rising.
And then I think there was one other one, but I don't have Division 2, and I was really trying to get that. And I kept putting, and they would it was the same game, and then they would just put the code up, and then it would rotate, and they would just put a new one every 30 seconds would be a new code. So they gave away probably maybe 30 copies of each game. But
wow,
when you put it in Uplay, it would just say it was already attached to someone's account, because there's 220,000 people watching. But then the same time as I would click it, and then I would get locked out. It says you cannot try to put another code in for a minute. So then I would have to wait. This is the dumbest system for this little thing to work. So that was very frustrating. I didn't get any free games. I wasted my time on a pre-show watching Trackmania, which looks stupid to me. And I will get my rest of my frustration out about the Ubisoft show when we get to that in the news. So
I think we all will.
That was my week. Oh, and the most exciting part of my week, which I was, Alex, you'll appreciate this because you like older stuff and random things.
You like games?
No. This is a popular game. I think it was Friday night. I went up to bed kind of early, and I'm like, I know I'm not tired yet. And my Switch was downstairs. I don't want to go pick it up. I'm like laying in bed. I'm like, I got an Xbox One in my room, and I have a Wii U. I'm like, let's turn this Wii U on. I haven't done this in a while. So I have like I have all the games in like a little CD case thing. So I'm like flipping through the CDs, and I'm like, you know what I've not played? The Wind Waker. So I put that in. I played that for about an hour and a half.
Very good. You've never played the Wind Waker?
Okay, so I never finished it on the GameCube, but I've not played it on the Wii U. But my GameCube experience of the game is also quite limited. I probably have maybe 5 hours in it. That's it.
I am really happy that you bring up the Wind Waker on Wii U because that is I always liked the Wind Waker. Like I think last episode we talked about Majora's Mask for 800 hours. That was my favorite game my favorite game of all time.
We need to talk more about it.
We do need to talk more about Majora's Mask. But after playing, so I like Wind Waker on GameCube. I was like, this is great. This is an amazing game. I love it.
Yeah.
And then playing it on Wii U, I was like, this game is now. I can see how incredible it is. I can see why this game is so special.
On top of everything else, it looks so good on the Wii U. It looks like I kept telling my wife, she was laying in bed reading a book, and I was like, can you believe this game came out like years ago? And I was like, this remake came out like 2013. She's like, no way. Excuse me, I'm gonna keep burping and breathing. And she's like, that must have come out like last year. I was like, no, this is an old ass game.
Yeah.
And it's a remake of even older.
I think the big problem. I think the big problem with Wind Waker is when GameCube came out and they released that segment where it was like, kind of similar with like the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. They're trying to get more realistic, and you see them fighting Ganondorf, and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then they come out with a cell shaded game. My first thought with a Wind Waker was like, are you kidding me? Like, what is this? It was a great game, but as you get like older, it's like, wow, that's a good game.
Yeah. For years I thought I would always say that like this was back in like when the GameCube and the Wii were like the systems. I would always say the Twilight Princess was a better game. It's like because they both came out on Wii U as HD ports. Wind Waker is a vastly superior game than Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess isn't even that good.
See, that's my
Twilight Princess is a slog. Like
that's the only one I almost finished.
I do have to show off my so far one and only tattoo is the Pearl of Courage from Wind Waker, right there. So
cool.
Which I got that it was.
I thought that was the Forest Temple medallion.
Come on, I mean like
similar. I mean,
yeah, it's a Zelda thing. They all kind of look the same.
Alex is really drunk one day. Goes to a tattoo shop. Just get me a Wind Zelda tattoo.
I got you, fam. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's like, I know what one you want.
Wind Waker HD is a really, really amazing version of that game. Like
it's pretty good. I'm excited to keep playing it.
Sometimes it rivals Majora's Mask in my mind.
I just love playing games in bed because it reminds me of like being young. Because I used to have like the TV in my room and I have my GameCube hooked up, and that's where I'd play games a lot. So like me playing in bed, I got like I have a headset I can wear because I like the wireless sound, so I can just put it in my own little world, and it sounds so nice. And that like when you have headphones on, you just kind of like zone in. It was just I wasn't playing on the gamepad though, and I do think that I need to get the gamepad charged up and play on there.
A 240p.
But because don't you get the menus and stuff on there too though?
Yes, and that's part of what makes Wind Waker and Twilight Princess so much better on Wii U is that you're not constantly pausing the game.
I didn't have it charged, so I was playing on like the Pro controller they have, so I was using that instead.
Oh, Alex, is that Ganondorf from Wind Waker behind you too?
Yes,
that's the toy next to Majora.
How in the world can I see that?
Ganondorf from.
I think that's.
I'll grab it. Shit. No, there's tons of.
There's Kirby
I see Sailor Moon Deadpool.
It kind of looks like
Sailor Moon Deadpool's over there. Hold on, I'll grab it. I'll show it to everyone.
This is his favorite part of the show. I thought he was wearing boxers for a second. I was like, he's in his underwear?
That is really cool.
That thing's huge too. Is that an amiibo or is that like a...
I don't think so. It's like a collectible.
So that came with the special edition of Wind Waker HD.
Is that an amiibo?
That's awesome.
No, this was pre-amiibo. This is
cool.
It's just a statue. Yeah, it's dusty. I gotta get a.
Why is Wind Waker so good story wise? Like, is it just?
Um,
I feel like they tried something new with it and it worked.
it one of the things I really liked about Wind Waker, and this is going to be just Zelda chat for a bit, but one of the things I really liked about Wind Waker is how it leaned into its nautical theme. Like it was really like, it wasn't like other Zelda games where it's like, oh, here's the mountain part, and here's the where the Zoras live, and here's the desert and everything like that. It was really like, we're all in on this ocean. This is where we live. Sorry, there's a fire truck going by. Yeah, they're coming.
I was like, okay, I have to go now. Goodbye. Turn the lights off.
The Twilight Princess police are coming. But it really leaned into its theme, which I really appreciated. It wasn't like, it didn't feel like levels anymore. It was
the first massively open Zelda game, like open world Zelda game, and that's huge. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Zaya, I know you have not played any of the Zelda games. Wind Waker is. I would always recommend starting with Ocarina of Time, but Wind Waker is not a bad place to start.
Yeah. Oh no, I still think Ocarina of Time. That's a good starting point. You get a taste. Yeah, you get a taste of every piece of Zelda, and then if you really like it and you want to, like, that's the best way to describe it. Like, to introduce the Zelda series, Ocarina of Time. If you really like it, dive into Zelda, like Majora's Mask, because that is everything you liked about Zelda, but amplified. So, it doesn't teach you things. You already know it from Ocarina of Time. It's just the stuff you love. They really pushed it.
We need, I'm going to initiate a new segment we do for like at least one time. We need to all pick a game for each other to have them play, because there's games that we always talk about that none of us have just never touched or never played. And I think we need to like force the other person to play it. Like Alex needs to start playing Mass Effect, and I need to play Mega Man.
Yeah.
Zahi, you need to play Zelda.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Mike, what do you need to play?
That's for you guys to figure out.
Oh no!
All right, you need to play Danganronpa. I'm just gonna pull out the most obscure crap I can think of.
I can promise you, I've never played it.
Oh,
it's a bear,
whatever.
but
It's an animal. It was close.
Cute.
Oh jeez.
All right. So.
All right, Mike. What about you? What have you been playing?
So actually, I had a little bit of an interesting week myself. So I had some Heroes of the Storm with Kevin and Chris. That was fun. And then I hopped on the Xbox One. I don't really ever play my Xbox One. I'm usually on the Switch now or my PC. But I hopped on and I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot for a little bit. Went through my games library. Actually, I share games with Chris. And I was like, I picked up Red Dead Redemption 2. I played probably the first 2-3 hours. And for some reason, I just never, I pulled a Kevin. Just, great game, stop playing it. And that's what I did with Far Cry 2. Or Far Cry 4. I played Far Cry 4, picked it up for a night. I'm like, this is a lot of fun. Never played it again. But so I picked that up and I'm going through the games, like trying to find it. And I was like, and Chris had bought Banjo-Tooie, the rare replay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
Man, I haven't played that game in forever. So I downloaded that and started picking up Banjo-Tooie again. It's very witty. It's very, it reminds me of like the kids' version of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah.
Where it's like the jokes are family friendly, but it's funny just because of the different things. Like you start out and Blinkers or whatever, the little chipmunk mole thing, is dead and he's just floating above his body, like talking to you, helping. And like the whole joke is you go to his Bottles, I think that's it.
Bottles,
Bottles,
because he's got the bottles.
Yeah, and you go to his family house and you're talking to the family and they're like, oh yeah, he never misses dinner and he's gonna do this. And one of them was talking about, we got this like soapbox derby in a week and me and my dad are gonna do it. And Kazooie hops out and goes, you may want to find a substitute for that. Like just stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's funny. And I mean, I haven't played that game since I was like 9. Maybe I could have been younger. There's a little squeak for you, a little prepubescent squeak in my voice too. So I picked that up a little bit, but I noticed that, I don't know, with games, I mean, it's tough. I got a baby, I got a full-time job, stuff like that. So finding time is at night. So I'm battling trying to stay awake too. But I know a game is really good when it can keep my attention span. If I'm playing a game for longer than 2 hours, I feel like I really like it. Like I at a time at least, I lose patience in a game. I just can't sit there like some of these streamers that'll run 8-10 hour streams daily. I'm like, man, more power to you.
I don't get it. How can anyone do that? Like I'm new to the world of streaming, and I'm like an hour and a half. I'm like, guys, I need to turn this off. Like,
dude, I hate myself.
I wish I could stream like all day. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely a talent to be able to. Unless, like I said, it's a game that you get hooked. Zelda series, I can get hooked into. Last one that was like it was the Spider-Man series that just gets hooked. A lot of multiplayer games I like just playing with buddies because that'll usually kind of drag me in. But yeah, anyways, so I did play a little bit of Red Dead. Same thing, about an hour and a half in. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Probably not going to play it again.
Yeah.
Like
that's my impression of Red Dead.
Yeah, who are we kidding? I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm probably not going to play it again. But yeah, so I switched over to Banjo-Tooie for a little bit. It's just fun, to happen and then play those. Did a little more Pokemon. I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and like get a little serious, build like a ranked team, a competitive team, try and get into the ranked battles. So I started doing that, picking up the moves, looking up the different moves, what's the best move set, what's the best held items for this, building a good team. Just repetitively got my ass kicked on ranked, just game after game after game, and I go, all right, casual player it is. So now I'm going to do that. And that's my week.
No, it's a good week.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon ranked is one of those things that's like, it's too intimidating to me. I can't even think about it really.
I know you don't get all. I think there's like 600 Pokemon now that you can access after Isle of Armor came out, and yeah, so it was like 400 and like something.
So they're still missing 400.
Yeah, well, so they got Isle of Armor that picked up I think like 120 or 150 more, and then they're gonna pick up another group with Crown Tundra. So they're not gonna have all of them, but most of my favorite, like they brought back Lycanroc in this last one, which I really like from Sun and Moon. And like it's just it's fun to collect them, but yeah, these people on ranked, they'll be like, you'll play doubles and they'll be like, all right, you got this combo out here, so he's probably holding this item, so this guy's probably going to play this and they're going to bounce that. They could look at your whole roster of 6 and be like, yeah, he's got these moves, they got this, they know this weakness, we're going to double up our defense. I'm like, man, what? I just know like that water beats fire. Like I thought that's all we needed to know here, guys. What
seems
the hell?
a little intense.
Yeah, it's too much. I watch a couple like guys on Twitch who are like really into it and real good about it, and just the knowledge they have. Yeah, I get the game's been around for 20 years. Well, the Pokemon franchise has. So, if you pick a little bit up every year, you're probably pretty good at this point. Even Ash Ketchum finally won a Pokemon League.
Right.
He's like 36 now or something.
Yeah.
Hope Ash has been saving up for retirement. It's coming.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's about to cash into that 401k. But it's tough. These guys are good. They know everything, and it's not just these guys that are streamers. I'm finding out so many people, and they know every typing. Like that's the thing. There's 800 something Pokemon. Probably from about Ruby, Sapphire till Black and White, I really stopped playing it. Like I started getting into it again a lot more towards Sun and Moon, like really getting into it again. So there's like 300-400 Pokemon that like I know them, I recognize them, but I don't know their typings, I don't know their names, I don't know anything like this. It's just too much to keep up with. But one day my road to unranked is going strong. So
yeah, that sounds about right from my experience with Pokemon too. There's people who are great at it, and that's good for them. I'm happy for them. I'm not going. It's not a world for me. But so it sounds like we had a good week all around. Though we all got more gaming in than I felt like I had time for, at least.
Yeah, I hear you in that.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on. Talk about what really the big thing that happened today, just a few hours ago, was the Ubisoft Forward presentation. So this was Ubisoft's replacement for their E3 presentation that they typically do. So we can give our impressions of it. How do you guys want to do this? You guys want to go through the list? I've got a fancy post-it note?
Why don't we?
Might as well
or
you
do
put
you
all
wanna
the time into it.
I love that about you, buddy. Yeah, a little post-it. Oh, God,
Yeah,
you're like me in college.
I've got all
we'll
types
just,
of post-it notes, man.
hold
I
on,
got
I got
like
really
colors
colorful.
everywhere.
Let's just you name the
I'm
game,
like-
and we'll just go around and talk about it if we have an opinion on it and if we saw anything about it. How about that? So let's
All right.
start us off. And I'll put the
Sure.
video
All
on
right,
while we're
let-
watching so people can see what we're talking about.
All right, well, stop.
Alex and I think I would have like stalked you in class just to steal your supplies. I'd be like,
I was a crappy student. It was like, I don't really know what changed, but like I never took notes or anything like that. But like as soon as I became an adult and like had a job, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to pay attention or else they stop paying me.
It took me about 2 years into the real work for us to like, oh, maybe I should write this down like people are telling me
It's the
to.
opposite. I would overdo notes, and then I get to real world. I'm like, I don't need to do all this. I'm writing down like their middle name. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
I'm never
I'm
gonna,
never
use,
gonna
this.
use this.
Why am I stressing out about stupid shit?
sorry.
All right, yes,
side
go for it,
topic.
Alex. What is number
Nope.
one on Ubisoft Forward's great event we saw this afternoon?
Wow. All right, well, we're going to talk about the one game that I think I'm actually interested in, so it's going to make the rest of this super interesting. Watch Dogs Legion.
Looks
Go.
good.
I thought it looked good. Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cool idea how, you get to play as all these characters. What is it? They said like every NPC in the game can become playable, which is pretty neat. I did read a quick review from someone who had actually gotten to play it, and they were talking that a lot of the characters do kind of feel the same, which I mean, I'd imagine so. How many unique characters can you make? But it was cool.
Yeah, that's what I got, like, because I think we saw Watch Dogs Legion, was it like last year or the year before, was when we saw like a bit of gameplay about it.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
that was my thought too, is like, how can you make every NPC feel unique? Like it seems ridiculous.
What they did,
like,
I saw.
almost.
So like, I'm showing a video of the gameplay they showed today, and they showed the construction guy. So it looks like every NPC is gonna have like a couple little abilities, or either probably themes of one. So I wonder how many different themes of characters. Like, I'm sure they're gonna have construction workers one theme, and there'll be like 4 different ones that are slightly generic versions of it, and all the construction workers have these 3 main abilities. So I'm wondering how many different variations of these different like themed characters they're gonna have. Like, looks like old lady is gonna be one. This like tech person that's showing that they have right now. They had like the military person. So
Yeah, you can actually.
yeah, I was just saying, it looks like they have a decent variety, but let's say if there's only like 10 different people and they're just reskins of them all, that might be a little disappointing.
Yeah,
It is.
Oh,
Sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So it is cool, and you'll see in this demo quick right after the techie girl that you can actually play and recruit people who are actually a part of the, I don't know, like the empire, for better words.
So yeah,
the group that's like coming to
what is it
control
called?
the peace.
Albion? Albon?
Something similar to that.
Yeah, I think Albion is the
Albion, right there.
I see it.
the military police that like or like the private military that's been brought in,
But it's
and
cool
you're
'cause you
still
can be
part
one.
of DedSec. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Did
be
you
one.
say
too.
Albion?
I think
Albion.
it's Albion.
Yep, it
It's
is.
on the
Albion.
list here.
Is this a sequel for Fabled or something?
Spoilers.
Imagine they're set in the same world.
It all ties together.
Oh, I'd be so sad. I'd be horribly disappointed
It's
if
like,
this was
yes,
a Fable
yeah.
game.
yeah,
It's I think all our concerns are the same, where it's like, if you can't deliver on every NPC being unique, then why even bother going
Why
that
waste it?
route? Yeah, like,
I hope that you can say evolve or develop certain NPCs to like do specific things, like have them, yes, be overall not really too dissimilar from each other, but that there's an element of RPG in that you can upgrade them, you can customize them, you can tell them to, you can focus them into different skills and areas.
Mhm.
And I hope it's not just like, oh yeah, this character has like base stats of a B minus, but and that's about it. But like,
Yeah.
I hope you can go in and like hone in on what their like specialties
If they
are.
put a lot
Yeah, exactly.
of variety and a lot of thought into each of these different kinds of characters you can be, it will be worth it. But if it's going to be a small handful and it's just repetition the whole time, it's just you're playing the same thing over and over with a few different people, this game's not going to be good. But if they really did the due diligence and put in many varieties, and they fleshed them all out, and they're all similar. This looks really cool.
Even if they give you like 20 or 30 unique things, that's a lot of uniqueness. I mean, how many old grandmothers are you going to, recruit on your team that are going to be, one was an ex-military.
One's a pro knitter.
What?
She's
Come on.
Bro.
Yeah.
I want a squad full of old ladies.
And like, I think you can. Like, that's the fun
squad.
part. Like, I think that's. Like, I think you could set that up where you have a squad of old ladies just going. They haven't shown me the variety. Like, they've shown, like, I think we've seen construction worker, we've seen old lady, we've seen hacker. Like, okay, that's 3. Like, you guys are talking about populating a whole city.
Right.
It's kind of like, it's a bit scary.
I would like to. My thing about Legion specifically is I love its style and the presentation.
It's like 3D.
Way more than like Watch Dogs 1. God, it just looks so bland and dry. Whereas Legion here actually looks like fun and colorful and alive. And
I gotta say that Ubisoft does a really good job with open world too. Like when they make them based off of places like DC with Division 2 or New York with Division 1, they do a really good job of, getting Madison Square Garden or, like the Capitol building and stuff like that. So this being based in London too, I always like those when they're like open world, but they're based on a real place, especially when a company can really hit it. And it's just fun to like go in. Like I remember the mission in Division 1 where you go fight through Madison Square Garden. And it was like one of the first missions. It was just so like, so cool to me. Yeah, because like they got everything right. And yeah, obviously they're not going to show the New York Knicks or the Rangers stuff. It's like a fake team. But minus that, everything else was like real inside the stadium. And I like that accuracy that Ubisoft's put into the real world.
Yeah, Ubisoft.
I wonder if.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. They're a worldwide company, and it shows. Like they really put in that like effort to like match all their different locales and things like that. So
like realistic.
Sorry, is that you were saying?
I wonder if Assassin's Creed Syndicate, any of its like gameplay, what's it called, like locations, if they brought them back, for example. Because wasn't Syndicate in London?
Yeah, but like 4 years prior. Okay,
like
whatever.
2.
Yeah,
Whatever,
no,
it's old.
absolutely. In the sense that like some of the assets could be similar, like building architecture.
True. Some of the older stuff
still the same kind of look. Yeah.
I wonder if it's worth even like moving over because it's so old now from Syndicate and to the new standards of Legion, which is basically going to be a next gen port right off the bat.
Right. It is. So it is coming out, I think, sooner than a lot of people anticipated. It's October 28th, I believe.
It was delayed twice, so it's.
It was supposed to be in March. Yeah, the last time.
It was supposed to be out already.
Year, wasn't it November? This year?
No, this year. It was supposed to be out a few months ago. And then when Ubisoft delayed everything, this was part of that. That everything getting delayed. But yeah, we won't have to wait much longer. It sounds like it's going to be a launch game for Series X and PS5. And it's coming to Stadia too. Which,
yes. God.
Nah, kidding.
Finally.
Actually, I'm pretty sure everything on this post-it note is coming to Stadia. Everything is coming to Stadia.
All right, we got everything covered. Next gen, we're gonna do this, okay? And one guy in the back, some nerd. What about Stadia?
Some
Stadia?
dick runs in.
What about Stadia?
Yeah, we can do that.
intern.
Sure. The one guy in the back. Yes, Google Stadia.
Shut up, Stadia guy.
They don't even know his name
at all.
Stadia guy, shut up. Who let him in here?
Exactly.
He stands up. Stadia will rule us all. They're gonna rule us all. Google.
Just looking at it real quick, none of these on my list are Switch games.
No.
More Stadia support than Switch support.
I mean, it makes sense. These aren't
but you know what's
Switch titles.
funny is probably their best-selling game is gonna be a Switch title. Just Dance.
They had an update to Just Dance 20. It was in the pre-show, so I didn't really write it down. I think, but they have an update for Just Dance 2020, but no Just Dance 2021. At least that they wanted to talk about today.
They did announce 21 though, didn't they? I remember reading it. I
didn't see anything about 21.
No, maybe not. It's got to be coming.
If an update for
if
20,
it's not coming, they're silly because it's just free money for them to get because people buy that stuff like candy.
Yeah, and also like, I don't know. You can't keep updating a game called Just Dance 2020.
It's 2025. Like, we're all playing Just Dance 2006. Like, yes. My favorite Miley Cyrus from back then is
They just had so many good DLCs.
Hannah Montana back then.
And, like, I'm sure people...
It's basically Just Dance 2006.
It's the same songs.
Yeah. Oh,
Dance to your best hits of 2008.
And I'm sure people... And I'm sure people want to be reminded of the great year that is 2020, like constantly by only having Just Dance 2020. Yeah, right. All right. Anything else on Watch Dogs Legion, or can we move on to the next thing?
That's pretty much it. That's the one game that I was.
Yeah, I think
it's come out this year and pretty quick.
It was the best looking one of the show.
Yeah,
I think.
Cool. They did a good job with that video they made by that director. It was kind of neat that they showed that video.
Yeah, that was really cool. Cool. At first I thought it was a bit weird, like the cuts were a bit like strange, but then when I kind of dawned on me that this isn't the game, this is a
type extra.
Yeah, like it's a standalone piece to it. I was like, oh, I get it. And it really matches, like you said, Zai, it matches that fun world and the colorfulness of it all. So I do feel like I need to make good on something. So Mike and Kevin wouldn't know about this because this was from a couple years ago. But after E3, I think 2018, I told Zai and Jacob that Watch Dogs Legion was going to have a higher Metacritic than Cyberpunk. I take that back. I do not think this will have a higher Metacritic than Cyberpunk.
I remember that. That very clearly, and I'm like...
The first time they showed Watch Dogs Legion, I was floored. Like, I was like, this is going to be so revolutionary and blow us all away. And now we're like 3 months away from release, and I'm like, oh, it
does look good, but I don't think it's revolutionary.
Yeah. So
I don't think it's Cyberpunk levels of game.
So, there's me owning up to the silly things I say online. So
we were waiting for that, by the way. We were holding you to that.
Yeah, no, I went. I was thinking about it, and every time Ubisoft comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, I did say that stupid thing. That like as soon as I saw more Cyberpunk, I was like, what am I thinking?
Why did I say that?
But it was just that these were going to be the futuristic, hacky type cyber games, and I was like, yeah, no, Watch Dogs Legion looks like it's going to be much more creative than Cyberpunk, and I take it back, everyone. I don't.
Cyberpunk is on a whole other level.
I do I completely agree with that. And I think that Watch Dogs Legion is going to probably be a little gimmicky. I think it'll be fun, but I still just think it's going to be a little gimmicky. Just like I said, I don't think they're going to add that many varieties of these things. I think the initial seeing of it is awesome, and then it's just going to end up being a...
I bet you it'll be like The Division, where it's fun, but you start realizing quickly it's the same missions over and over, and it's the same package, just you're killing a different person.
Now, but I was a grandma, and now I'm doing it as a barista, and now I'm doing it as a... whatever. Starbucks cup.
Now I have benefits.
I'll use this as a great segue to the next thing. So I don't think I think you're right, Kevin. I think Watch Dogs Legion will be kind of the gimmicky thing that it doesn't get a lot of support. And I think it's you look at its release date. 3 weeks later is the next game we're going to talk about is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which Ubisoft spent a lot more time talking about during this thing. I didn't watch the post show, but apparently the whole post show was just gameplay of the first part of the game. So they made good on the Xbox One or a Series X show from a few weeks ago, and they actually showed real gameplay for Valhalla. But it really is like you kind of look at the release date. So you have you have Watch Dogs Legion on October 28th, and then on November 17th you have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla is getting so much more marketing hype. Like it is getting pushed like crazy, and it comes out after Watch Dogs. So I think Assassin's Creed is going to be the big one for them. It's also coming to PS4, PS5, Series X, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia. Stadia. Stadia saved because it's getting all these Ubisoft games. But But yeah, so they finally showed real gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We got it playing right now. What do you guys think?
I thought it looked really cool. We were talking about this earlier, even pre-show. It doesn't look like Assassin's Creed. Like no. It looks like it could be its own standalone game. I think they did a really good job. Like I like one of the things, and it was just showing the clip too when they were storming that one settlement, and you're launching the fire arrows into the homes, and like you're able to torch down like whole like settlements. Like that's cool when like all the physics of everything around you can be worked with. Yeah, indestructible and everything like that. But right, it looks like a medieval. I feel like it's Lord of the Rings minus the magic, and not really like that parkour-y Assassin's Creed. There's one part in it where you put the hood on and you can go stealth, and that's probably the most Assassin's Creed it's going to feel like.
Big thing I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what do you guys think? Do you think that the actual name Assassin's Creed hurts the game series, or like this game in particular? Do you think having it helps it or hurts it? Having Assassin's Creed at the front.
So I was thinking about like what really sets this up. Why don't I see Assassin's Creed when I look at what they've showed? And I think the big part of it is that there's no verticality. There's no like. When I think of Assassin's Creed, I think of like climbing the top of buildings and like
fighting
kind of looking down and jumping down into haystacks.
I think that being number one, the fact that the combat has gotten so far from what it used to be from the very beginning, where it was mostly stealth kills and you hiding, to now it's, I mean, granted, it's a Viking, it's barbaric fighting hardcore, but I mean, is there anything with the Animus or anything of that even related to this at all, or is this just?
I don't think they've used the Animus since they went to the mythological side of things.
I thought it was in Origins they did for a little bit, or maybe it was. Oh, here they're showing stealth right here. I see in the video we're showing. It shows him with his hood up and the cape, and he is kind of hiding with everything. It almost feels forced, though. It's like
Origins and Odyssey. They continue the plot of the whole like mythological element with the other beings, but it's like really tertiary. It's not even secondary.
Like
it's like.
Yeah,
it's like you can go to a cave where one of the last ones, or the great one, I forget their names, was, and you can see him working on some stuff, and that's like about it. In the Atlantis DLC, though, they did focus a lot about that, but it's less about like going into the Animus and go and relive your past, and it's more like I think they took that idea completely out. And just were like, so this is the overall narrative now, and in these certain time periods is when these things are happening, and it's less about you going back to explore them, and more like you're in the environment and it's with you, but you have to go find it.
I think one of the things that's like Ubisoft never came out and said this, but it was fairly obvious, is that after Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the London one. They kind of it was a soft reboot for the series. Like they kind of
feel that way, yeah.
And I think they kept the name because the name sells, but it's very much different. It's not. This isn't Assassin's Creed 3 or Black Flag or Unity or anything like that. This is a whole different sub-series, almost like in name, but not really, of Assassin's Creed.
It's the Tokyo Drift of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, this is Assassin's Creed Tokyo Drift. I'd buy that. Oh, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. I'd be like day one. Do they do midnight launches anymore? I'd be at a midnight launch for Assassin's Creed Tokyo Drift.
Just bring your mask.
Yeah.
And watching this though, it does look really damn good. Like
it does. This
awesome.
This looks really good.
It just looks. It looks great.
Oh, a little Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
there's the hidden blade.
That takedown, like.
Yeah.
It looks really good. This is going to be this game is going to have a very high Metacritic score.
I think Ubisoft is just giving up everything else. So like we kind of screwed it with the new Tom Clancy game. That's over. Division's on its way out. Yeah, Legion. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Let's just put all of our money in marketing into Assassin's Creed Valhalla and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they coming out with the DLC for the Division 2 where they're going back to New York?
I think we did already.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. There's nothing new for Division 2, I think, on the roadmap. They did talk a bit about Siege. They're keeping that going, but
it's doing well. But
yeah,
still,
They need to remake Rainbow Six Vegas. That is the best
Yeah.
Rainbow Six game. The original
Vegas
Vegas.
is great.
I like
Yeah.
that one too.
Vegas 2 wasn't bad,
It was
but
so
Vegas
cool.
was like Calypso
That
Casino
game was so
was the
good.
coolest. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're all pretty sold on Assassin's Creed. I think that one is I mean, it's cool. Even like back at the Microsoft thing a few months ago, like that first cinematic trailer they showed for it, I was like, I'm in. Like looks great. It doesn't look like Assassin's Creed, but it looks great. It reminds me more of like Shadow
Yeah,
of
it kinda
Mordor or
does,
Shadow
a
of
little
War.
bit.
It's like Elder Scrolls Online meets Horizon Zero Dawn.
It's kind of like that.
So, yay or nay? Would you
Oh,
buy
yeah.
or not?
Yeah.
I'll buy it, and it's gonna sit on
Nah.
my shelf for about 2 years because I need to play the games in order.
There you go.
And I'm only on.
And I'll
Yeah.
never play them.
Unity's my next one I need to play. I just finished Black Flag.
It's such a letdown. Black Flag is so janky,
Oh,
but
I
it's
love
so
Black
good.
Black Flag.
I don't think I'm gonna get it at
Really?
all.
No,
I'm just like really turned off from the series, to be
Why?
honest with you.
From what?
I don't know. I just
It's not what it used to be.
it's not. Yeah, it doesn't feel like.
What
Assassin's
if I
Creed
told you it's
anymore,
not
and to me,
Assassin's
that's
Creed?
like-
It's just a fun game. You to be a barbarian.
they could have just called
Yeah.
us Valhalla. Like the title is Valhalla.
You know what? And I think I would have been more comfortable with that. But I just think I'm going into it with the mindset of Assassin's Creed, and that's not what I'm getting out of it. So I think for me, the name is really damaging,
Oh,
actually.
that's a shame. You're gonna miss out.
You know,
It's
it's
really
like-
fun. Come on, don't you want to go torch some
It's like
villages?
saying,
I mean,
it's,
you
it's
could-
like saying I'm gonna play Halo 6, and I'd love to play as the Arbiter, but like, throw me in as Blue Squad. It just wouldn't, or like random civilians on some backwater planet. It just wouldn't feel right.
so at the next Ubisoft Forward, maybe like in 2020 or 2021 next year, when they're giving away the codes for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like in rapid fire, like you can get it
Right
there.
there.
This game will be
I'll be right there.
This game will be free
Goes
in a
cheap
year.
quick.
Like it's kind of like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Buying Ubisoft
Yeah.
games day one is a really weird prospect because
Yeah,
they
the stuff on the
always
Uplay
go on
store now
sale.
is so cheap right now.
Um,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I would personally like to see if they want to do an Assassin's Creed? I would like to see them take the franchise actually into the future. I would like to see, because after
Be
Assassin's
interesting.
Creed 3, I don't think they, other than like a few maybe highlights where you interact with something in the world, I don't think they don't show the future anymore so
Yeah.
heavily. I would like to see like Assassin's Creed 2025 or like 2050. You know,
Be
that's what I want
interesting,
to see.
actually.
Yeah, I think
I want to see the Templar assassin conflict in modern day. I think
Yeah.
I think I would think that would be an interesting concept.
I think so too. I think like right now they're a bit like they're like really stuck in that
History,
it has to be historical or it has to be mythological. Like
That's
that's
the vibe.
what they're tying it all into. But I really liked where like pre was it Origins was the
Yep.
first one, the Egypt one.
Egypt was Origins.
yeah.
Origins was great.
Yeah, Origins was great, but pre that I liked where they were going, where they were like, all right, like we're creeping into the 19th century.
climbing up. Yeah, you're in
Um,
Boston, and yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then there was I don't know if anyone played these, but there was the Assassin's Creed Chronicles games. They were like 2D stealth games.
Yeah,
India,
the scrollers.
Russia.
Yeah, one of them.
Those felt more Assassin's Creedy than what
Yeah.
Valhalla feels.
Well, one of them was set in like 50s Russia, like the Soviet Union, and I was like, that's so cool. Like you don't see
It is
games
cool.
in these time styles. How many
Yeah.
Viking games are there?
There-
Like, there's
it's
tons
interesting because it's like
of
if it's
games.
set in that
Yeah.
period, like a World War II thing, it's automatically a war game. It's not anything but that. Like
Yeah.
to make it to be like a stealth game in the wartime, I think would be a totally different take on it. Instead of just you
Yeah.
get a bunch of guns and it's a first person.
And
Set
that's
one in
what I mean,
1985.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to shout out a game that no one's played because, like Kevin said, I play games that no one likes or has
obscure.
ever heard of. The
I actually
Saboteur.
played that game. So,
Uh, World
heard-
War II stealth
It was on,
spy
like
game.
PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
wasn't it? What did I play this on? PS3. It's
PS3.
got like a
It was-
No, it's
it's like red
Yeah.
on the cover.
Yeah,
it's like
you
black
try to
and
turn color to the world. Like it was
Yeah.
like
That was a
It
good
was really
game. I
cool.
did play it. I never
Um,
finished it.
No idea what it
Classic.
is.
But it was really good.
I'm gonna Google it.
Saboteur was very good.
Yeah.
I
Play some gameplay in the video.
I don't know if I want them to drop the whole like mythological setting. I'm so bored. You know what? How about this? How about we throw a prediction out? So we've had so many different settings. Where do you think the next Assassin's Creed setting will be?
I'm going to jump right in because I think I have a good impression of what it'll be because I spent a lot of time thinking about games and I was like, oh, I know what it'll be. Aztec.
I was
thinking
I think it's gonna. They've been talking about. So these games are in production for like 4 years or something crazy. So it's 6. I remember a couple years ago when they talked about the next one they wanted to have come out.
Oh, you got the Saboteur up on.
Watching that.
It's so good. It's actually a really great game.
I still think they're gonna push something in Asia because people wanted that years ago, and I think. They probably were like, okay, we can't do anything now to do it about like 3 years ago, and people were really big about that. They're like, we can't do anything about it right now because we've already started working on this Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but maybe after that they're probably like, okay, because if we could go to like feudal Japan and do that, I think would be the coolest one.
Mm-hmm.
To be like a samurai,
cool.
like
during like the Ming Dynasty or something Japan, like that, or like around Genghis Khan times.
Cool. Oh yeah,
Mongolia.
That is exactly what I was thinking is going to be. I think is going to be the next one after Valhalla.
Stuff, which I think would be awesome. But playing through Black Flag, like there's already a hint of that because you're in that Caribbean type feeling, even though it's not the same. But there are a lot of like temples and stuff that look almost Mayan and stuff like that.
Right. But I'm thinking more like because Black Flag takes place in like the 16 or 1700s. I'm thinking like Mesoamerica, like in the year like 2000 BC, like
the year one.
Yeah, like really old stuff. Like because you want that mythological thing. Like you want things like you want.
And you could use the Aztec gods. As the old ones.
Yeah, I don't want post-conquistador Central America. I want
I think it'd be fun to have one in like.
So
side mission is join a Liberace band or something. Like, what is this?
Blending in, you're like, oh, I belong here.
The hidden blade is actually in the instrument.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think it'd be cool to have one in like the snow because we haven't really done a lot of that, have we? Like to be in like I don't know the Arctic or something, or
a snowy environment.
Russia.
No.
How many people are in the Arctic?
There's 4 penguins running around.
Not a lot of settlements.
Get those.
Maybe just northern Russia or Siberia or something. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Cold
really War times.
A big part of
Australia.
A big part. Australia would be really cool. Like it depends. Like if you're doing the mythological aspect, like not a lot of people, like the people who lived in the Arctic regions way back when, they didn't really build up massive like civilizations. Like they had a culture absolutely, but they didn't like it's not like the Vikings versus the Saxons here. Like it's not like two cultures clashing. It's like they lived there and they had no conflict with other people other than different tribes, right?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too cold to fight.
That's exactly what I was thinking though, Alex. My next pitch for the Assassin's title is definitely going to take us into Asia. But my second like thought process was like South America, Central America. We don't have anything native or Aborigines or Mayan or Aztec, and I think that would be
I almost wish that we could have like a remake
place.
of Assassin's Creed 3 and just go deeper into like the just I just
US
think it was
history?
like Native Americans and stuff. Like their culture is so cool and so like just beautiful the way that they have all their different stuff and their artwork, or even jump into like what about like the Wild West, like back when people were invading out that way and it was a bunch of cowboys and stuff. Like that's a cool era. Like there's so many things they could do with this, and
Assassin's Creed Redemption.
yeah, I don't know, just like there's so many time periods this could fit into, and it would just be such a unique. Like what about an Assassin's Creed like Disco and like in Europe during the disco phase?
Disco, good, good.
And that's the thing. Like Assassin's Creed was always about putting games in a time period that wasn't really like there wasn't any other games set during like post-revolutionary America or the Crusades or things like that. Like unless you played like Crusader Kings,
The
like, that was pretty much it.
You know what would
yeah,
be
like the
cool
Renaissance,
is
right?
like the old African tribes, like right when like the slave
Africa
trades
would be
were
cool.
happening and stuff
That's
like
cool.
that, and like you were like like
Riding
an
an
assassin
elephant,
through
like,
that. Like
"Move
I
on."
don't know. I think that'd be a
I
fun.
would, you
Yeah.
definitely have to.
Be
I think like
sensitive for those.
yeah, like, I think that's the kind of thing
Easily.
you don't gamify too much, but like you can absolutely set a game during that time. I think that's a good
My
idea.
thought would be you'd be on the side
And-
of this like helping the slaves.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that
and-
no,
couldn't do the other
but
way. That would be
Oh,
awful.
the Templars would be the ones bringing slaves over.
But
Assassins
at the
would be
same
the ones
time, it's
liberating
hard
them.
because
That's a
like,
good
the
concept.
Templars are not
Right.
always like shown as like bad guys. Because when you play like Rogue and stuff, and in Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag and Rogue, all kind of like sometimes it makes them seem like they're not bad guys. They just do things that are opposite of what the assassins wanted. It's kind of like
Yeah.
what's some like
And,
like
like,
Horde versus Alliance. Like there's
the
not
real-
really a bad guy. They're both kind of bad people. They both do bad things.
They just
They
don't
both do
like
good
each other.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it falls in the gray, right? And the Templars were a real organization too. Like the Hashashin were as well.
They were.
like,
And that's what I liked about Assassin's Creed was that it felt legit.
yeah.
You know, it's like it actually.
Lesson.
Oh God,
History.
that's
Today's day
why.
in history.
Yeah,
Sure.
I remember all the pirates and their fun boats. Black Flag is great. Play Black Flag. All right, we're going to move on to the next thing on the list. We got a few smaller things to go through, but the other big game that they showed quite a bit of was Hyperscape, which is their battle royale.
The
It
VR
looks
game.
very confusing.
it's not a
to
VR
understand
game. Well,
what the
it's
heck
a
it
VR,
even
VR,
is.
battle royale.
So
It's
like-
Ready Player One.
It's Ready Player One. They ripped off Ready Player One like 100%. I don't know like what came first, but
Ready
like
Player One's
Ready
been out for a
Ready
long
Player
time.
One
That
for
book
sure.
came
It
out
was
when I
uh,
was in
like
college.
has Ubisoft been working on this game for 15 years? We have no idea. Uh,
yeah,
but,
it was a book a long time ago too.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
The second
Ready
book
Player
is
One
actually coming
was
out pretty
it's a very
They just
classic.
announced the second book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did they? So the whole the hook or the I guess the gimmick of Hyperscape is that players through like Twitch and like streaming platforms, like viewers can interact with the game. So they can be like, oh, I really like, oh, this person's struggling. I'm going to throw in like, I'm going to drop a health pack in front of them. And that's the community that's putting it into the game. So it's not
That's cool.
influenced by your supporters and or your, if people don't like you in the game, they can maybe throw a trap your way and you have to like dodge it. And then it kind of like, so it's not entirely taking place in game. It's kind of breaking the fourth wall and having, I'm pretty sure they only said Twitch, but there might be other streaming platforms too. That are supported.
Facebook gaming.
Gaming. Yeah. Mixer. Oh, they got Mixer. Good for them. So yeah. But yeah, so that's the gimmick of Hyperscape is that it's a battle royale. It looks like it's just it looks pretty generic as far as a battle royale goes. It's like, oh, there's 100
Which
people and you
sucks
shoot
is,
them with
like,
guns.
The idea of if you were like if this was a story-driven game instead of it being a battle royale and you were playing as a person being forced to play battle royale games and like trying to like it's a great concept,
baller.
but yeah, but you
great
take the whole
concept for a
story mode
story
out and you
game.
just put it into like
Yeah.
a basic generic PvP game. Now it's just in a saturated market of a bunch of other games that no one cares about the story at all in battle royale because it's about just being competitive and winning. Like if you were playing a game and like you were on like mission levels and you had to play in battle royale matches that were like simulated with like it's such a cool story. Like even the video I'm showing right now is unique how she's like discovering, oh, something's happening, people are disappearing in the game, and it's like that's cool. The battle royale concept is not. That's been done 100 times now, and done better than this, obviously.
So I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if viewers can tell from the massive wall of gaming and anime stuff behind me, but the idea of being transported into a game world is a trope in anime. A lot of animes, like think of
So
like
many.
yeah, it's the isekai genre where you think of like things like Sword Art Online or the other one whose name I always forget.
Dot hack.
Dot hack is good. No, it's not the one I'm thinking of, but now I can't really remember what it's called. Log Horizon. Is it Log Horizon?
Log Horizon.
Log-
It is Log Horizon.
Yeah. So like the idea of like players being
Sorry, anime guys.
I only know one anime, so
I just want to talk about anime.
Anime.
day. But
Dragon Ball Z. Yes.
He just got silent. They're all like, "Oh, what kind of
I prefer
crap
the
does this kid watch?"
Yeah.
Loser.
The concept of being like normal people being transported into a game and then having to like fight to the death is actually really like popular in anime, to the point that it's a bit of a trope and a bit of like, oh no, another one of these type thing. So, and anime and manga, like some are different, but yeah, like that's kind of what I got from this. I was like, oh, okay, so this really cool concept that you have about having players being able to influence your game world, you're doing it in the most boring way possible.
Right. It's so limited with the PvP battle royale. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's cool, and it's definitely a unique battle royale. I mean, it's totally different. Even just the gameplay minus the crowd interaction, I think is cool. You know, like each successful battle royale has their own gimmicks. Call of Duty has like that Call of Duty feel. You got Fortnite, which is like that cartoony, and you can build 1,000 walls in a second. PUBG is, I mean, well, that was like the first one essentially. So that's why, you know, that's kind of like the OG one, and it's not. There's another one that came out and I can't think of it.
DayZ.
That's H1Z1.
Yeah. DayZ or H1Z1.
Yeah, I think H1N1 is the virus.
H1Z1. Yeah.
And then there is Apex Legends, you know, which just came out, which is you kind of get, it's a cool game because it's, you know, it's the fun like battle, but you kind of get your special powers. So this is like different, you know, you get the crowd interactions, you know, so it does look kind of fun like that futuristic feel, or it's almost like it's got a feel of a little bit of Apex, but also a little bit of Fortnite. But then, yeah, you get that whole crowd reaction. And let's be honest, it's probably going to sell like hotcakes because battle royales are all the hype right now. But yeah, I wish they could have done something better.
One thing that, like, so
did they say if it was free to play? Sorry,
I don't know if it's free to play. I'll have a quick research look. But one of the things I want to like stress about this game, it kind of worries me, is like online games are dependent on their player count. If your player count goes down, dies essentially.
Yeah.
And now you're not only dependent on your player count, but on your viewer count. Because if your viewers go away and people aren't really interacting, and like, I don't know, like what's stopping someone from like saying, hey, like if I was a player, let's say I'm a professional Hyperscape player, and I'm like, hey guys, I need all of you guys to go onto Twitch, and I need you to screw everyone else over.
It's gonna say stream snipe and screw and it just pisses everyone off.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I don't get the system they've built for this. Like, it sounds like a good, like, it's like someone had a good idea, and they all approved it. Ubisoft was like, yeah, all right, let's do that. It's a good idea. And then like, all right, but like, how is this actually going to work? This doesn't seem like a workable thing in the long term.
Seems like a solid game for Stadia.
Yeah.
Stadia.
Hyperscape. Let's see.
Stadia.
It is not coming Stadia. It is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Windows. It does not say if it's free to play. At least, like the Wikipedia page I'm reading does not say. Beta for Windows will be released sometimes in 2020, with betas for Xbox One and PS4 later at an unspecified date. So
I bet you it'll be free.
Yeah, probably. You can't charge for this stuff.
I hope it's free. I saw there's a beta that's going to be coming out. I think open beta available now, actually. It says right in the page.
When you have things like Apex, Warzones, you know, and the free market is Fortnite, like, I don't think you can thrive in this environment anymore if you don't cater VR games to be free to play. Or if they are for pay, they got to be damn good.
Yeah, you got to be a couple steps ahead of them, because you're right. You got to now you're essentially trying to take an audience.
You're trying to take an audience, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. So, Alex, did you, in your sticky notes, I don't remember the name of the game, but it was the game where there was a bunch of people working together to save a guy from a cage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so this is the next one I want to talk about.
Okay, perfect.
this game pisses me off.
What's it called? So I can pull the video up, because I can't remember the name of it.
Tom Clancy's Elite Squad.
Yeah.
So this game was announced.
This is what I'm upset about, too, so I'm wondering if
this game was announced maybe like a year or two ago. It was at an E3 for Ubisoft. It's a mobile game. It's only going to be on Android or iOS.
That's right where I'm pissed.
Yeah, and well, we already knew this. I thought this game was canceled.
I didn't know that, and I thought this is something brand new that I've never seen, and I'm like,
no, this is butt old. Like this game's not out yet. I don't understand why it's taking them so long.
So cool.
I don't get why it's taking them so long to make this game. So what pissed me off about this game was, and it was a bad first impression, because you're right. This new trailer looks really cool. Like I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, it kind of reminds me. It gives me a Team Fortress vibe.
Well, is it supposed to be like the characters from their universes?
Yeah, it's all the Tom Clancy characters are in this game.
I was like, okay, that person looks like they're from Siege, and I'm like, that looks like Sam Fisher, and I was kind of
Sam Fisher, yeah. And that's what ticked me off. Was the first time they showed this, they leaned into like, oh look, Sam Fisher's here, and it was like, we're still waiting on a Splinter Cell game, and we're still waiting on a Splinter Cell game. So give me my Splinter Cell game. But yeah, no, it looks good. I don't want it to be a mobile game.
What kind of game is it even? Like, is it a card game? Is it what are we doing?
Card game.
It might be. It's a mobile game. Like it could be any.
I don't know what the heck it is.
But it looks really good. And then all of a sudden I was like, this looks so good. I remember I was talking to my buddy who was sitting next to me. This is great. Oh my god, I can't wait. And then it goes, available soon on iOS and Android. I'm like, the hell? What is going on? What is this?
Yeah.
And now I'm completely lost. I don't want to play nothing on my phone at all.
Okay, August 27th.
No, I'm not playing anything on my phone.
It's coming out soon.
Yeah, it didn't explain anything. That was like a teaser trailer for a game that's coming out in a month.
I get the feeling it's going to be a gacha game where you
yeah,
where you like
this sucks.
You get Sam Fisher. Yeah, you get Sam Fisher out of like those random draw things, and you put on like, oh, but you need to like put in your diamonds, and you get more diamonds by anyway. And it's going to be I get the feeling it's going to be a tactical game where it's like you move here and then you move here, like it's kind of like a grid-based tactical game
type of deal.
Okay.
Yeah, like Gears Tactics or like a Fire Emblem or something like that. That's what the feeling I get from it, but like, yeah, like it look like
just looks
this is the problem with cinematic trailers. Like
this looks bad. Looks bad now. Well, sorry, it looks bad after I saw iOS and Android. It looked great 20 seconds prior to that, and I was like, this is gonna be a great game.
It's the problem with cinematic trailers that don't tell you anything about the game. It's like, oh, cool, like you sold me.
It's just like, it's just stupid.
Show 5 seconds of gameplay after. Like, give it some context, right?
Yeah, something. For a game that comes out in a month.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. This game's not like it's a year out. This game better be done or it's getting delayed yet again of some other sorts.
I thought this game was canceled because they showed it. Like, I'm pretty sure E3 2018. Like, this game was old to me, and I was like, oh, okay, we never heard about it again. It was a mobile game. It's probably like lost, and like the reception back then was really bad because it was just like. It was like they showed Sam Fisher and everyone was like Splinter Cell and they were like coming soon to iOS.
Yeah, it's like, they gotta know that's gonna have a negative reaction when they show like the thing people are asking for is a Splinter Cell game and they're gonna show a mobile game with it. Like, don't frickin' Diablo Immortal us. Like, this is stupid shit. Yeah. Like this just pisses
Pokemon
people
Unite.
off. Don't do that. You know what we want. Don't hold it in front of us. It's just gonna make people be mad and not want to buy your stuff. Yeah. Oh, we all want this. Well, actually,
that's a problem with mobile gaming. I mean,
it's about money. It's the problem. This shit is gonna have a paywall, and it's gonna be free to play, and people are gonna spend tons of money on it, and it's gonna be exactly what the shareholders want, and that's why they make it. So people who like good games doesn't matter because all of a sudden, my friend Carl from the 9th grade who doesn't play video games, he's gonna love it because he's gonna go and spend $4
Damn it,
in
Carl.
it, and that's it. But he has no idea what anything else is video game related.
Carl. Come on,
Carl.
I just... Games like that ruin this whole thing. It just sucks that they have to have...
Ruin the whole thing.
They do. Stupid frickin' Carl.
Yeah. Damn it, Carl.
I hate you, Carl.
Why'd you do this to us?
I do want to say in the chat, to make sure our show is so interactive, Steve is saying... actually, I asked the question I probably should say before. What Assassin's Creed time period should be next? We were talking about that. And Steven says, Detroit, baby. We've got plenty of ruins to explore. So maybe. I mean, he's not wrong. There is some...
That 2008 financial crisis, Detroit.
Yeah.
Some deep, real debt, like post-Kwame, like still fresh on our minds.
I think too deep, man. I think that's too topical. I don't think we can go there.
Didn't they just make a game about Detroit?
Yeah, but it would be weird to see a guy
Detroit
in like modern
become
times
human.
just climbing
Yeah,
buildings.
it's become human, yeah.
You just see like cars from like 2009. There's a man just climbing buildings.
Is that Miguel Cabrera?
Oh man, remember when the Red Wings were good?
Yeah. That was right around the time of the recession. So yeah, that 08 Red Wings, you still got Lidstrom. They just won a Stanley Cup. You know, they beat the Penguins.
It's
And
not all
there's,
bad.
and there's an assassin
I was
climbing
graduating
Joe.
high school. Like I should be in the game.
But Joe would still be there. It's not Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Ubisoft, you better be listening. We're ragging on you, but like we got some
The
ideas
next
too.
Just gave
Assassin's
you the key
Creed
to the
taking
castle.
place in
Yeah.
Detroit, Michigan. Everyone's just waving.
Yeah.
They're holding up a
We're just,
Coney
some.
dog.
Oh, sure, we're just some nice Midwestern folks there. I just
Oh,
don't
come
want
on
to
over
hurt
here.
anybody.
Oh, but not the UP. We're located right here, I see.
Yeah, in the mitten, right?
You are.
Oh,
you here?
we're
or are
not
you
in
right
Canada.
there?
We're almost
Right.
there, though. We're in Detroit.
Oh boy. Yeah. Those are some nice fellers over there in Canada, though. Yeah.
Some nice gentlemen over there across the
Windsor.
water, eh?
Yeah,
Build a settlement on Niagara Falls.
we go to drink and play the gambles there because you can do it when you're 19.
Why are you
That's fun.
Irish?
I don't know.
Is
Oh,
that how
a
we
bit of a
sound?
luck I have over there on the other side of the border, eh?
I thought this was water. Maybe it's whiskey. I don't know.
Oh God.
It's Irish beer.
I don't know what's happening to me
For the
there.
folks listening who have no idea why this is hilarious to us,
Because we're really
Half-
bad at accents.
half of the people on the podcast right now are in the U.S. and the other half are in Canada.
Fight.
And Mike and I are
We get
both from
along.
Detroit, Michigan area, which is right across the
Yeah.
water from Canada. So
Right,
Oh,
we're
friends
far
here.
away yet so
You're
close.
Canadians. We're friends.
right.
Fight. Kiss.
Kiss. Kiss. You Canadians, kiss now.
We can't. It's social distancing time.
Yeah,
You
there
put
you
your
go,
mask
that's
on,
fair.
It's okay.
Yeah, keep your mask on while you make out.
On the
Yes.
list.
Stay
Uh,
6 feet away while you kiss, please.
I am
okay?
going
Can
to
you...
skip over all the little games to talk about the big one as we wrap
Damn.
this up.
dun, dun, dun.
And I want to change topics. So the big one, they're big and don't like they're big. We got one more thing. You better tune in. Leaked earlier this week.
And they had nothing else.
I'm sorry.
And they
So
had
sorry, Alex.
Yeah, it's all right. Far Cry 6.
Woo.
Far Cry 6 is coming out. It's coming out in February, so it's not that far away.
As of right now. 3
Um,
delays later, it'll be out in 2022.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be a open world
And then it'll
MOBA
be a launch
shooter.
shuttle for Stadia 2.
Open world mode.
Yes. Did they say where the setting of Far Cry
Cuba.
6 was going to be?
Right?
Yeah, it was
It is, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
It's not-
they said he's El Presidente, whatever that
not-
means.
It's not the real Cuba. It's like because Far Cry never uses real countries.
It's
It's
Cuba-like.
an analog to Cuba. Yeah, Cuba-like.
Cuba.
It's
They did get Giancarlo Esposito to play the villain.
Yeah.
Anyone who's watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul or The Mandalorian
Mandalorian.
knows that he is an excellent choice to be a villain. So definitely a really good choice there. We didn't see any gameplay, but we did see a couple of cinematic. They had 2 cinematic trailers, which was kind of a weird
the one
like.
that we saw with the little boy, the grenade, was like, I was stressed watching this thing. Like,
Yeah, it was
I was
stressful.
like, what are we gonna do with this grenade? This kid's gotta throw
Is he gonna
it, or is this?
kill his own
And
son?
then he almost
Yeah.
tripped. I was like, it was frightening.
When he trips over that, like, or almost trips over that,
Wire
like,
thing.
tube, I was like, the game or like Ubisoft. I know this leaked, but it's still you
And
still
how
got me
calm
on.
he is,
on
just like his dad walking in front of
Yeah.
him, like,
and like I don't want to like. Giancarlo Esposito is an amazing actor, but like he's very clearly been typecasted into this sadistic villain role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I know some of you guys haven't seen Breaking Bad, so I'll keep the spoilers light, but it's not far off from his character from Breaking Bad. Whereas it's very calm, very like composed.
Not just that. He's been even like in some games he's been typecast in like villainous roles, or not just games, even in like most media, like what's it called? I watched recently. I think it was Harley Quinn. I think he plays Lex Luthor, and I'm like, know that voice. It's so like smooth and creamy.
Yeah.
It turns
I had
out
no
I
idea
looked
who
it
he
up
was.
and it was
Butter
Giancarlo.
smooth.
He was a new face to me, but yeah, he is
Butter
creepy
smooth.
looking.
Yeah.
Look at the graphics on this. I know it's a cinematic, but it's fair to
They're
say
not
that
in-
if this is going to be next gen, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be close to that
Uh,
still.
So this is released. They have the list of platforms. It is releasing for, and I had it on Wikipedia a second ago, and I've lost it. So give me a second.
Stadia.
It is Stadia. I did see
Yes!
that.
Yes!
So it's coming.
Stadia.
Stadia. It's coming to everything you think it's coming to. It's coming to PS4, PS5, Series X, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia. No Nintendo Switch version. Garbage. Trash. No Nintendo 3DS version. Garbage. Trash.
Come on.
No mobile
Why-
version.
Not even the
Garbage,
Nintendo
trash.
3DS.
No. Not even a 3DS version. Um.
Oh gosh, Kevin.
So
what are you?
what did you?
What is that?
What's show and tell now? What are you showing?
Oh,
Showing and telling?
Stadia!
Are you for real?
Unopened.
It's still-
launched
it's still
Stadia.
wrapped up.
I'll never open this.
You gotta-
thing. A little dusty.
What's it say on the back? One place for. What's it say on the
Look
back?
Just
Card
says
against
you've made a
humanity
huge
box.
mistake in the back.
It's
Continue to say
it's a
many
link for an
different languages
extended
around the box.
return policy.
Mistakes were made. El Español. Okay. No, it just says Founders
Vous avez
Edition.
fait des erreurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to open it because I
you
want the
not-
Chromecast 4K really bad, but at the same time, I'm like, if I leave it wrapped, maybe it'll be worth something when this thing falls apart and it's worthless.
No, that's the kind of thing. Like Stadia is the kind of thing that isn't going to increase in value. It's going to be one of those like discount like things that like they can't
No,
give.
you're right, but
You walk into a store and
can
like
we just open it?
just
Should I open
go
it right now live?
what
No,
unboxing? You want an unboxing?
don't do that. You can't do that.
There's a
You'll
cool
regret it
controller in
forever.
It's pretty heavy. I will regret it.
It's got the system in it. That's why.
Yeah, the whole console's in there.
What's the main country isn't called Cuba, so let's just be like
Did they name the country? The game is
Okay.
set on a fictional.
Abu.
It's in Duba.
It's Cuba backwards.
The
Abuk.
game is set on a fictional Caribbean island inspired by Cuba, ruled as a dictatorship by El Presidente Anton Castillo, voiced and modeled after Giancarlo Esposito, who is raising his son Diego, voiced by Anthony Gonzalez, to follow in his rule.
Ooh, Diego.
The player takes the role of so here's interesting. The player takes the role of a guerrilla fighter attempting to fight back to the island from the people. So you play as a guerrilla fighter. You don't play as too soon.
What did he say?
He said Harambe.
He kept saying
Oh,
gorilla
God,
fighter.
I was scratching my head and I didn't
Gorilla
hear.
fighter. I was like, Harambe?
I
start-
get it,
I'm gonna
gorilla
start
fighter.
crying.
That was
Interesting.
good, actually.
That
was
is
actually really good.
You don't like the whole trailer kind of got me feeling I thought I was going to play as the kid. Like
Yeah.
maybe a few years after or something. But no, you're playing as the people on the streets who are fighting like the government. So that's interesting. That's a bit of
I
a
bet you, the very end, you have to kill the kid. That's my game. That's my way early review. You have to kill the kid at the end.
Wow.
I
9 out of
Maybe
10.
he
Not
might just
review,
become
prediction.
bad and that's what happens.
Yeah, you kill the kid. Prediction.
my prediction is the kid kills you.
Oh,
Mm.
cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, my prediction is a double suicide. You kill
was
each
gonna
other.
say. All you see
Double
is
murder.
you just see a gun trigger pull, but they're wearing a glove. You don't know who it is in the end credits.
All right, well this took a dark turn. I mean, Far Cry has always been a well, not always. Like Far Cry, remember when Far Cry used to be the silly, dumb, fun shooter?
It has
Now-
some messed up on it.
now it's become this like really like messed up
Deep,
psychological thing. But yeah, so Far Cry 6, it really sucks that this leaked because this was clearly they were like, guys, we got them,
That
we got
was
the
their
hook.
mic
We're,
drop
they're,
that
This
didn't
is it.
happen.
yeah, and it was just like as soon as the trailer started, and they were like, we got one more thing, and like the trailer started, and it kind of like matched the art style of the leak, and I was like, oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
And like they were like usually like companies don't admit to leaks before they happen, but Ubisoft did. Ubisoft was like, yeah, you'll see it more at Ubisoft Forward. Like
It's
to
sad that they
look-
didn't
look
give you
forward
like,
to that.
they showed us gameplay or something. Would have been like, okay, it's fine. We didn't see the best of the best, but we did see the best of the best.
Yeah.
And thoughts on
Overall?
So sad. What did you say?
any general
Overall?
thoughts on Far Cry 6?
I think it looks really cool.
I think Yeah.
Let
I think I'll get Far Cry 6
let
actually.
me finish 4 and then go back and finish 3 and then I'll play 5 and play New Dawn and then I'll let you know.
Oh, don't play New Dawn. Don't play New
I
Dawn.
have to. I own it.
It's
I like to play games in order they are released. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, but it's an online game. Like no one's playing it. You're gonna have
I don't care.
You're a child.
What? Whose voice was that? Was that you, Mike?
Here.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I was like some child jumped in this stream.
You're a child.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Who knows? I'll never play those games. Let's be real. I'll just buy this and play it in 4 years. I'll play the remake when it comes out, another 10.
You'll play an hour. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
So one of the last things I wanted to talk about this Ubisoft show was the games that we didn't see. So they have a handful of games that they announced a long time ago that are still just not there. They're either they're hiding or they've been canceled or something. So two of them that really...
Let me out, please.
Yeah. Well, they didn't even announce a new Splinter Cell. We just want it. But there's 3 games that I'm thinking that they announced years ago that we still haven't seen. So there's Rainbow Six Quarantine. There's
that's fitting right now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
good point.
guys, come on.
Maybe that's why they didn't show it.
And that marketing.
Maybe they're like, it's too soon if people don't like it. I'd be all over it though. That'd be great.
Yeah, like they're like marketing like like a pandemic, and people they could get really offended by that.
That's a fair point. Like I know, like
God,
the game itself was more
it looks so good.
Yeah.
Like the trailer they showed was like really like leaning on the bioweapon side of things. Like it's not really like topical to the current situation, but it is called Quarantine, and that is a very real thing right now. Then there was also Skull and Bones, which they've showed for a couple years and then like has completely dropped off the radar. I don't like. Do you guys even remember what this game is?
Black Flag.
No.
Not Assassin's Creed.
Only the boat parts. Only the boat parts. So Skull and Bones, I thought looked really cool from the first time they showed it, and then next year they showed gameplay of it. They showed like it's like a 4v4 where everyone is like in charge of their own pirate ship, and you're raiding other pirate ships and trying to get the treasure at the end of the day. Even back then, like it looked a bit too good to be current gen, so I wouldn't be surprised if it moved to next gen. But we've heard nothing about this game at all, so I was a bit surprised that it wasn't here because it kind of felt like the kind of thing that would be a good launch title. And Ubisoft always likes to have like those kind of one-off launch titles around new systems. So, and then the other one was Beyond Good and Evil 2. So Beyond Good and Evil 2 is another one that we haven't seen of anything for years, which is another like we saw.
They talked about that. That was
too long.
Yeah, and we have seen gameplay of it, so like the game was in a playable state to some degree. So yeah, we still haven't seen anything from those 3 games. So I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on those, but it is surprising to me that Ubisoft is still holding them back, or at least not saying anything about.
Well, they did come out with that. They're coming out with a second Ubisoft Forward.
Yes.
So and maybe 1 or 2 will be released.
I'm wondering if the fact that that Microsoft and Sony, I think, are still holding back a little bit because they're both kind of like playing chess with each other.
Who goes
who's gonna
first?
Take their turn first and see what kind of who's gonna drop what. So I feel like there's something being held back, and I wonder if Sony and Microsoft are saying, hold your horses, guys. Let us try to fight this out first, and then we're ready. You can start throwing all that third-party shit at us now because I think they're all hiding a little something because.
There's been nothing talked
about. It seems so weird. It's such a dry world of not anything exciting that's new and fresh.
Exception.
Because what if there's a crazy new feature on the Xbox Ones or Xbox Series X, and they can't talk about these new third-party games because it has to do with that feature, so they can't say anything about it until they announce it. So that could be like what it is.
That could be very true. It's also like this Ubisoft Forward, this whole show. A lot of the games they talked about, like the 3 big games that they focused on, Valhalla, Watch Dogs, and Far Cry 6, they all come out in less than 6 months. All 3 of them will be out by the end of February. So it's kind of like, it kind of makes sense if they're, and like, Tom Clancy's coming out in August, Elite Squad. It kind of makes sense that everything is everything they talked about today is coming out very soon, which is a very Nintendo thing to do. Nintendo often does that for their Nintendo
maybe
Directs.
This is their first half, like Mike said. Like this is what they're going to start off with, and they're going to jump into the stuff for the future, like further down. I do want to close out the Ubisoft thing because I do want to talk about one little tiny thing really quick, but. The whole purpose of this big marketing scheme they had about this moving forward or whatever, Ubisoft Forward, was sign in to your Uplay account and watch the stream, and you're gonna get a free copy of Watch Dogs 2. And I think I mentioned earlier how they were giving away free codes during the stream and stuff too. Well, as soon as the actual stream started, you were not able to log into Uplay at all. All their servers have crashed. You couldn't get onto the Uplay store to purchase anything or even see anything, and you couldn't log into your account to watch the stream. So I watched the entire thing, and there were 4 awards, or 4 like rewards. For 1 minute, for watching 1 minute, you got Watch Dogs 2. Watching for like 15 minutes, you got like an outfit for Division 2, and like so on and so forth. So I did see a post that they said on, I saw off Reddit because I was looking at the Ubisoft Reddit page. People were pissed. But they posted Ubisoft on a message board on their site saying, hey, we know there's issues. Just sit down, relax, watch the stream, and we'll get back to this tomorrow. We'll figure something out. So I hope I get my free copy of Watch Dogs 2 in the PC because that's a game I do not have.
I would
on
love
PC.
to get.
So
I'd never played Watch Dogs 2. I like the first one, so I'd be very happy to have the free copy of the game.
I'd give it to
I'm
everybody.
That's what they end up doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was interesting. Then to move, does anyone else have anything about that before I take us to the next thing? Because I'm going to forget if I don't.
That is
Take
my.
us over,
I
Ken.
finished.
So-
I can take my post-it.
Rip them up.
Come up.
Eat
Eat it for followers.
It's like, oops.
No.
No, hell no. Anyways, so with all this stuff, we've seen pretty much all the big ones, other than Microsoft and their next one coming out next week, I guess. What's going on with the new Call of Duty? Why have we not seen a lot more about that either? Because that's supposed to come out this year, isn't it?
Call of Duty always comes out like October, November. So
is there an Activision show going on? Like, is there anything? Do they have anything?
No.
Nothing from what I've heard.
So what's going on with that?
I really get the feeling Call of Duty will be either at Microsoft or if Sony does another State of Play.
That's what I'm wondering. Because
yeah, that's a big title
but
launch.
I
Yeah,
think,
they
Mike,
probably
what
use
we
it.
think about it is you're like, oh, these are things that are all coming out quick. We're finally starting to see it. Like, that comes out usually in September. Like, that's not like that far away. August, September, October it comes out.
I wonder if Call of Duty for the last like 10 years has always done like its big reveal during the NBA Finals, which obviously have not happened yet. So I'm wondering if they were like, oh, like we were planning on doing that, now we need another venue to do it. And like you could do it on Twitter or something, but like Activision always likes to really like go all in
Not
with
that
that,
game
right?
needs any marketing
That's a
anyways.
good-
It just comes out and it sells billions of copies.
Well, and I know this is a long time ago, but didn't World at War come out around the holiday?
2008, wasn't
when
it?
it came out?
I don't remember.
I feel like that came around so they could be
Weren't you,
waiting
like,
for next
6? How do
gen,
you
and
know?
it could be. I think it was like 6, 7.5.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I think it came out, and I could be completely wrong.
I don't remember.
But that was like the big. I mean, because after that was the one right after Modern Warfare, like the original Modern Warfare, and that was like when Call of Duty got big. So that was like their next release to it. So I could be completely wrong with that, and I don't know where I'm going with that.
Right.
Just saying it could
Let me
be
help you
a
here.
later
It's a
release.
possibility.
Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, that was it.
And I think with Modern Warfare having been the success, after a few years of it, like just tanking, like commercially, critically, not financially though, because for some reason people still bought that game up. A lot of people were pretty upset with it, but Modern Warfare really put some revitalization into that franchise. I think you're right. I think the next step is going to be pretty big.
Do we even know what like series of Call of Duty it's in? I'm like doing
I
a
thought it
Google
was
search
a
now, but we
Modern
don't know if
Warfare,
it's
wasn't
Black
it?
Ops
Or no,
5
that's what I
or
meant. I think it's a Black Ops.
Black Ops 4.
I think it's Black Ops 5.
Would be the
Black
next
Ops 4 is already Black Ops 4 already Black Ops 4 already
Is
came
it?
out because it was the one with single player.
I think
And the
Black
Battle
Ops
I thought it
Royale.
was Black Ops 5.
played-
I thought that's what it was, isn't it? Or is that not real?
Wait, the
Nope,
last,
not real.
the last one is Modern Warfare because Modern Warfare has
Yeah,
more.
That's what.
Yes,
That's what.
Modern
That's what's out
Warfare.
now.
like the remake or remaster or
It's
whatever.
the same title, but not.
It's
the
like
same.
a re.
It's a reboot. It's a soft
Yes.
reboot.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
they
soft
did a
reboot.
great job. I played that one that just was recent, the Modern Warfare, and then the original, the OG Modern Warfare, and I played the hell out of that game, and then I got sick of Call of Duty and I switched over to Battlefield.
I'm gonna go back because Battlefield got really boring again.
Yeah.
It makes sense. All right, Alex, you want to get us out of here? I think we've killed every topic.
Yeah,
for
well,
Ubisoft,
I-
and I'll touch of it.
Well, I've got one little thing that I want to fix from last week. So last week you asked me what Boxing Day was all about, and I didn't know the answer. So I went and I educated myself on what Boxing Day was all about. So this is
Alex.
This is Alex's history portion of the show.
Crazy.
Kevin,
So-
can you put a Canadian flag behind him while he does this segment?
You all,
It's
have to
Drove,
sing,
yeah.
you all have to sing "Oh Canada."
Can.
That's the only words I know.
Let me get some
I
more.
don't
I only know
rest.
the words
Okay,
because I
I do.
sing at hockey games. So
Native learned.
So Boxing Day was around like the 15, 16, 1700s is when it kind of started kicking into high gear. This is when like the lords and
Ladies.
Canadian flag all over the screen.
The Lords of Canada.
The Lords of Canada.
that was his name, was Lord Canada.
Sorry.
Mr. Canada
Lord Canada
decided that but all the lords and ladies, this was like, so Christmas was the religious holiday when everyone kind of it was more of the pious day, and the next day, Boxing Day, which wasn't named that at the time, that was the festive day. That was the day when everyone celebrated. And the lords and kind of landowners of whatever territory they were in, that's when they would bring
Providence, I believe.
They would bring their servants and their staff a box of like supplies, basically. So it was like, oh, here's like some like oranges so you don't get scurvy, and some beans and stuff like that. And so it became kind of like this
Boxing Day.
Yeah, you gave people a physical box of supplies because you were the master of the land and you took care of your servants.
So Lord of the Manor.
Lord of the Manor. So that's the gritty of Boxing Day. There is some competing theories too, like when no one really knows when people started calling it Boxing Day. The first time it appeared like written down was like in the 17 or 1800s, but like the tradition had been from way before then. I'm looking at I glanced at our YouTube, and it's a picture of an Old Navy in a mall.
This is the Boxing Day. There's signs that are advertising
Kevin,
that say Boxing Day.
Please.
See, Boxing Day.
Please don't
50%
ask
off.
him about history stuff again. I don't want to go through this.
No, I'd love History Corner, to be honest. But anyway,
I know.
is this? I think that's in Ottawa. I think I've been to this mall.
Which one? Is it the Rideau?
I think it's the Rideau Center. The Rideau Center.
Oh, I'm not looking at the video right now. I can't see it.
Get some Roots pants. Like Roots is stupid expensive. Don't buy Roots.
I've never heard of Roots.
Never heard of that
Too
either.
expensive.
Really?
It's probably a Canadian brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Canadian brand.
Yeah.
It's got beavers on it. And it's like super Canadiana. It's like, oh, look, a beaver. Oh, look, a maple leaf. Here's now charge us $200 for it.
Give me that quilt.
Yeah, everything is what's that pattern called? I can't think of it right now. Flannel.
Yeah, it's like LL Bean for the Canadians.
I was gonna say camo.
Camo, yeah, no. not at Roots, but anyway, yeah. So that's so I educated myself on Boxing Day, and I felt like I wanted to share that with everyone because last week I was like, I don't know what Boxing Day is about. Now I do. So and now you do.
Kevin, never ask
This
him.
is awesome. This video is great.
This
Is that Ashley Banks from the left?
No, this is
never
a
mind, it's
live
gone out.
video from the Lakeside Mall.
Oh my god.
From the
This is
Lakeside-
our
yeah,
Lakeside
in the
Mall?
80s.
Oh, this is great.
I was just watching old mall pictures. The malls used to be so busy, probably because of Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Probably.
God, never again.
Boxing Day is kind of like the Canadian equivalent. Not equivalent. We do Black Friday here, and Black Friday's become bigger than Boxing Day. But
when does Boxing Day, like, what are the dates for that?
December 26th.
December.
It's always the day. It's just the day after
See,
Christmas.
okay, I've always heard it was because it was like the day you guys do returns. Because it's like, it's...
Oh, we do that too, but that's because we get crappy gifts and we bring them back to the mall. And
Bingo.
you're already because all the sales are. Oh, see, that's probably the modern reason. Is everyone's at the mall returning the crappy gifts they got, and so the stores are like, well, let's put on some sales, make some cash on this. So, yeah, Boxing Day, everyone.
Well,
It's,
fun.
it's a
This
thing.
went from Ubisoft to looking at old videos of malls.
Yeah.
I'm so mesmerized by Lakeside Mall right now. It's like taking me back down memory lane. I haven't been there in years since I moved to
I
Florida.
live next to it. This is like an old mall that's like where we're from. But there was like sales. This is really
thrilling
good.
content.
Yeah,
We're
this
still
is
holding our viewers though, which is even cooler.
this is
Shame on you
I'm-
guys
I'm-
for not leaving.
People.
We're trying to get them to leave.
Thank
trying to
you.
get them to leave.
All right,
Viewers.
guys. Well,
Yes, thank you very much for sticking with us through this madness. But this was a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. So this was the episode. Next week we'll be back at our regular time, Sundays at 7. There's a lot fewer events happening next week, but there is one. And quick guess, everyone, what is it? Does anyone even know what's happening next week?
Is
Is
it the
limited run games or something like that?
No,
Yes.
that was this week. That was this past
Okay.
week.
damn? That's I was trying.
hang
Damn.
on. I'm gonna guess.
No, I'm out. That was
what's
my guess.
Something that Alex looks excited about that he would like. Okay, then.
Really
I'm
not
out
excited
of-
about it. It's just
Or out of
thing.
guesses. Oh, I knew
All right,
that.
it's
I
a
knew it.
Stadia.
You told me to. You told me like an hour ago, and I
On
forgot.
Tuesday.
That's how bad.
Tune
it is.
in.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, on that note, things couldn't get any worse
I can't-
from Stadia.
On this-
So
Mhm.
We're never going to get sponsored by Google.
it's okay.
I love it. But yeah, everyone. So let's do the
Yeah.
wrap up. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And don't forget, make sure you send us an email at journal.mail@linkcable.com for any questions you have on our website, and tweet us at linkcable1 and subscribe to us on YouTube and Mixer. And make sure to listen to us on your favorite apps as this is wrapping up right now. Thanks so much, everyone. We
yeah,
really
and check
appreciate
us
you on
out
there
on
for
our
this one.
website at
Yep.
link-cable.com because there's a lot of the articles we talked about are on there. And one of the articles written
Yeah.
by one
Yes.
of our
Riveting
own,
content.
Steve, is like blowing up over the internet. I keep seeing about the price increase and his take on it and some statistics. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
yeah?
Yeah.
Big shots.
Big
We're-
shots.
We're on our way.
Big shots.
Watch out, IGN. Here comes Link Cable.
All right. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Fair.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys.
Good show, y'all.
All right.
Have a good night.
Au revoir.
See y'all.
Salut.